563 WMMR. I will go to Mike, see if we can get an answer. Hey, Mike, good morning.
Hi, Mike.
You guys are smoking.
Thank you. Hence the air quality. All right, buddy. What the Hugo Award is given in what field, please?
Writing in science fiction.
Science fiction, yep. You got it. Hang on, Mike. Got yourself a $50 Metro Diner dining card. Burger connoisseurs, take a bite out of Metro Diner's new burger lineup. A trio of 100% Angus burgers featuring a barbecue bacon burger, a black and blue burger, and a pimento cheeseburger. It's available now through July 4th, and you visit metrodiner.com. All right, let's get right into some of the entertainment stories. And like I said, I'll start with a lighter one, then I'll get to some heavier things. But
all right.
Tom Holland is taking time off from Hollywood after wrapping up The Crowded Room. The Marvel star told Extra that it was a tough time for sure. He said, "We were exploring certain emotions that I have definitely never experienced before. And then on top of that, being a producer, dealing with the day-to-day problems that come with any film set, just to add it to the extra level of pressure." He said, "I am taking a year off, and that is the result of how difficult the show was."
Didn't he? He's also started on the road to sobriety, yes?
I believe that is correct, yeah. So this show starts tomorrow, premieres on Apple TV+. It's called The Crowded Room. So I don't know what it's about. I have no idea, but apparently it dives into some deep emotional and mental things. Yeah. All right, I was so sad, upset to see this. Shannon Doherty revealed yesterday the breast cancer she's been battling for several years has spread to her brain. She posted an emotional post on Instagram. It was a video of her receiving radiation. She said, "On January 5th, my scan showed mets in my brain. My fear is obvious," she said. "I'm extremely claustrophobic, and there was a lot going on in my life, but that fear, the turmoil, the timing of it all, this is what cancer can look like." The announcement was met with an outpouring of support and encouragement from other stars and cancer survivors alike. Actor and longtime friend Selma Blair commented on the post, saying, "This is a lot to take on still again, and I am wishing for all the wise peace you have learned to find you in the terror moments, to know that we are holding you. Love, all love." Sarah Michelle Gellar wrote, "You are a warrior." And she's battled breast cancer since 2015.
Yeah,
she received her first diagnosis then. She said she underwent a mastectomy, received chemotherapy and radiation treatment, and then she announced she was in remission in 2017. But in 2020, she went public with a second diagnosis of breast cancer, this time stage 4. Throughout the years, she has candidly documented her journey living with cancer. In October 2021, she posted a selfie of her lying in a bed with a shaved head with a nosebleed. And she had written at the time, "For Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I'd like to share more of my own personal journey from my first diagnosis to my second. Is it all pretty? No, but it's truthful." And she said, "I hope that I encourage people to get mammograms, to get regular checkups, to cut through the fear and face whatever might be in front of you."
Sage advice.
Yes, absolutely. So it's just,
That's
you just hate to
terrible.
see that. Especially somebody gets a remission diagnosis. You know, and I get confused when you have remission and cancer-free.
Yeah.
I mean, are any of us ever really out of the woods when it comes to this thing?
Listen,
you know?
there have been astonishing strides. My mother had a brain cancer was actually what she had that diagnosed first, and that we found out later.
It was lung cancer?
And I believe there was...
lung cancer can spread and become brain cancer often.
Right, and that was the thing, Nick, which even at that time seemed obvious, though was not checked by the hospital. But had she have had the situation then that she had, if she had it now, they could have probably eradicated it.
Yeah. Back to the mammograms, though. I don't, some people say they hurt and all that kind of stuff. I've had, a couple of them. And to me, it's no big deal. Like, it's just so worth
Yeah, and we're
going.
talking about you, too.
Who's scared of everything.
Yes.
And I don't know. I don't know if it's different for people. They say that maybe have smaller breasts or whatever. But for me, it is not painful, at least the one that I get. And it's super easy. You're in and out. It's quick.
And same thing with getting a colonoscopy. Just it's no big deal. Go get
honestly,
it done. Go get it done.
Who's
I've had
never
like 4 of them.
I've never had any drugs, and I've never been drunk. But that propofol is rocking.
I'm telling you. All right. And this was a sad story, too, and I apologize for the string of them, but the Iron Sheik. WWE legend, who was one of Hulk Hogan's greatest rivals during the 1980s, passed away. He was 81 years old.
I remember that whole Hulk Sheik rivalry.
Oh yeah, Nikolai Volkov.
It was great.
Yeah, it was great. But but he was also an awesome follow on Twitter.
Yes,
and I'm like,
he was funny as hell.
So funny. He loved the word jabroni.
Yeah,
he would tell everybody to f off or whatever. But did he actually hate Hulk Hogan? Because on his Twitter, it made it seem like he hated Hulk Hogan.
I don't think so. It's possible, but I mean, he was always in the act.
Speaking of jabroni, he created that word.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. And in fact,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Dwayne Johnson talks about that. We have a clip of him.
Yep.
First, let me have a clip of him remembering the Iron Sheik. Let's go with this.
I grew up calling the Iron Sheik Uncle Sheiky, and when my dad and the Iron Sheik used to wrestle together, Uncle Sheiky would come over to the house and his wife would babysit me, and I was about 8 years old at that time. So God bless that woman, his wife Carol. I hope you guys are staying strong. Again, I'm so sorry to hear the news.
And then he talks about jabroni.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, here we go.
So when I first came into the WWE, the Iron Sheik had pulled me aside and he said, Baba, let me tell you something. He said, you come into the locker room, you sit down, you shut your mouth, and you just watch and you learn. He said, and then you understand who the good people and who the jabronis. Of course, a couple of years later, when I became The Rock, I borrowed the term jabroni. And The Rock says, you jabroni, shut your mouth and know your role. All the credit goes to the Iron Sheik.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
We had the action figure.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
There's something about his look was just great. The mustache. I mean, come on.
And the voice. I don't know if we have a clip of his Hall of Fame.
We do.
Wrestling Hall of Fame acceptance.
Yep, here we go.
I was Minnesota Wrestling Club 5 times AAU, and after that, Mr. Gania give me a job. I used to drive the truck, put on the ring, pick up the ring, yeah. And I was referee. I pay my due. That's because I want to say I was 180 pounds, but I was so much fall in love with the wrestling from put on the ring, pick up the ring, 24 hours in the Midwest. I drive from Minneapolis to Milwaukee, Chicago. I made it to the Holland Fair. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We're looking at his Twitter account, Kathy. I'll read a few of these.
Okay.
And by the way, this was all the way up until just a couple of days ago.
And this is in all caps. F dancing with your eyes closed. That's one post. F, and I cannot stand this enough.
Stress.
I cannot stress this enough. The Monday. F, the rhythm and the rhyme. F, the Apple Vision Pro headset. And then he writes, if you are a jabroni, I will beat the F out of you. I mean, he just posted funny stuff like that all the time.
I can't believe jabroni came from him. I had no idea.
He started in 1972. He was recruited to the Midwestern AWA by legendary promoter Vern Gagne. In the same training class as Ric Flair. He spent about 8 years there before traversing other territories such as the WWF, Jim Crockett Promotions, Mid-South Wrestling, Championship Wrestling from Florida, and Georgia Championship Wrestling. And then returned to the WWF in 1983, kicked off his time as a nationally recognized figure, culminating in his defeat of Bob Backlund as the World Championship, the night after Christmas at Madison Square Garden. He had trapped Buckland in his submission maneuver, the camel clutch.
Yes.
While Backlund did not tap out, the manager threw in the towel, and Sheik became the champion. A few people obviously have made statements about him. Jake the Snake Roberts wrote, a true icon and someone who left a mark on wrestling that can never be erased. Another great one gone. Mick Foley wrote, although that I've never gotten to know the Sheik well, I was fortunate to have been on hand for two of his most iconic matches, the title over Bob Backlund at Madison Square Garden and his boot camp match with Sergeant Slaughter at Madison Square Garden in 1984. He said, I also had the honor of wrestling the Iron Sheik for the first and only time on a tour of Dominica in 1987. And he said he was one of a kind. His real name, by the way, he was born in Iran.
Yeah.
And his name was Hossein Khosrow Ali Vaziri. And in fact, Ric Flair, who's gone back more than 50 years with him. He wrote, my dear friend, Khosrow Vaziri. He said, we started wrestling together in 1972. Seems like so long ago. We crossed paths so many times over the years, and you were always so entertaining. The greatest line you ever said to me in 1972, he said, if I had your hair, I would be with Elizabeth Taylor. Rest in peace, my friend. Man. Be as entertaining to God as you were to all of us. Survived by his wife since 1976, Carly.
So I was going through some old footage of interviews, and you hate to say stuff like this, but they don't make them like that anymore. They just don't.
Listen, my nephew he's 21 years old, loves wrestling right now. We have a friend, Nick Ruger, who's a huge wrestling fan. I feel like I got to watch and witness the greatest era of wrestling, and I'm probably wrong because apparently the show today is like just amazing.
It's still awesome, but there's something different about it, right?
What I witnessed in the mid to late '80s, I just absolutely loved.
He also had he has 2 children and 5 grandchildren. By the way, the couple, he and Carol. Their eldest daughter died in 2003. She was murdered by her boyfriend.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that's a little horrible news that I never knew about.
No.
But sad that the Iron Sheik has passed away. A couple other things. Bam Margera.
Yes.
Reportedly headed into treatment at Lamar Odom's rehab center. Remember, Lamar made this statement that he would take him in.
He did.
And so...
And apparently, it's a good facility.
Sources close to the situation tell TMZ that Bam was released from a psychiatric hold yesterday, and Odom was there to meet him. Wow. And the outlet reports that Bam is detoxing at one of the NBA star's facilities before he heads to another rehab center owned by Odom.
Let me tell you something. If you're Lamar Odom and you have rehab facilities that you've invested in, if you can claim turning Bam Margera around,
You're right.
You're going to be on easy street.
But Steve, can you imagine, like, if after all of this, the guy that turns Bam around is Lamar Odom? I mean, God bless him for trying, you know?
Yeah. No, why
I didn't
not?
know he stayed sober.
He has been, oddly enough.
No. Anna Marie Tendler revealed that she was hospitalized for suicidal ideations as her relationship with John Mulaney crumbled. She wrote in Elle magazine that she and her dog Petunia moved to Connecticut in 2020 in the wake of, quote, my severe mental health breakdown and what appeared to be the impending end of my marriage.
So as I remember, she didn't want to get a divorce. No. It was he that went to her, right?
Yep. She added in the essay, when I was hospitalized for depression, self-harm, and severe suicidal ideation. In the first 2 weeks of 2021, the doctors asked me to make a list of my reasons for living, and Petunia was the one and only thing on that list. Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Mulaney filed for divorce in July 2021. At the time, Tendler had released a statement that said, I am heartbroken that John has decided to end our marriage. I wish him support and success as he continues his recovery. How about some lighter stuff? All right, we'll move on to some
You
things.
jabroni?
Okay, how about this? Adele is completely gutting the home that she purchased from Sylvester Stallone. TMZ posted photos of the Beverly Hills estate that show the main house under total transformation.
Stay off the roof. There's like $1 billion.
And the entire second story has been sheared off.
Yes.
Wow.
I saw a picture of it. It's pretty wild. It's a complete overhaul.
That's almost tearing the whole house down.
Well, you know what she's keeping, though, as we reported before, the Stallone statue at the end of the pool.
How can you not keep
Wait,
that?
serious? Is Jean's going to keep it?
I guess so.
Yeah, you have to. I would.
Adele bought the house last year for $58 million.
It's unbelievable.
After it was originally listed for $110 million.
Yeah, I'm a very savvy real estate man.
Yeah. Originally, you were asking for $1 billion, right?
Like $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, not $1 billion exactly, but like $1 billion. And then I said, all right, I know how to play this. I'll shear off $500 million.
By the way, it's 3.6 acres, which is, I mean, that's big for any lot,
right?
But not for
$58
million, because it's in California. But the property
That's
is
$10 billion an acre.
It's one of the largest in Beverly Park.
Thank you.
But she is, well, you don't own it anymore.
I know. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Where's he living now? He lives in Florida?
Good
Stallone?
question.
Oh, you got to watch the Stallone reality show.
I
to
know,
find
with his
out.
daughters.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, but he definitely, at this point, just raise the whole thing and start over.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Chris.
Seriously,
yeah,
more child.
we have more child. Back off.
Back off, War Child. Seriously.
Chris Hemsworth has shared his thoughts on Thor, Love and Thunder, a movie, of course, that was largely panned by fans upon the release due to its quirky tone, ropey CGI, and loose plotting. And he has said in an article with GQ, he said, I think we just had too much fun and it just became too silly.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
That's why Ragnarok is so good, because there are moments where it's like, okay, now we got real again, but now it's a little bit humorous. That thing was beginning to end nonsense.
He said, it's always hard being in the center of it and having any real perspective. I love the process. It's always a ride, but you just don't know how people are going to respond.
You remember in Ragnarok when he comes down and he's got the lightning coursing through him? It's like, that's Thor.
Yep.
You don't have really any of that.
But if he picks up a Stormbreaker and goes adventuring with love again, it's going to need to be another change of pace. He said, if I was going to do something again, it would have to be tonally different, and we'd have to do something very drastic to keep people on their toes. Otherwise, it's just the fatigue of those characters in those films where people are like, I've seen it already.
Yeah. So I think the problem is like he was trying to make Thor, the character, funny, and Thor, the character, is not funny, but you can put Thor, the character, in funny situations, for comedic purposes.
Right.
And Steve, it just makes me think of Cobra. And I was watching Cobra the other day, and I watched it, and I was like,
Thinking of me, I'm flattered.
it was terrible.
Yeah.
And because, for a couple of different reasons, but I don't know if you've watched it lately.
Oh, yeah. I
but
just watched it 3 or 4 months ago.
Like, dude, Cobra's like making jokes. I'm like, what are you? Are you a crazy like zombie squad detective who like is no nonsense? Or are you a guy who makes dad jokes? Because and that's kind of like
there are 9 different tones to the movie. They're all horrible.
Yeah, it's a bad
His
movie.
performance, and we love Stallone.
We do.
Oh, we do.
But it is, honestly, if you've never seen it, it's well worth seeing because it is fantastically entertaining crap.
Yeah.
You know what they should have done, though? At one point, they should have had him inhale too quickly, and he, like, chokes on the matchstick.
That's not my toothpick. That's not my toothpick.
All right, 2 more quick stories. Judy Comer walked off stage 10 minutes into her Wednesday performance of Prima Facie on Broadway because she could not breathe amid the city's air quality crisis. I was thinking about that because yesterday, like, my eyes were kind of burning all day long. And there were a couple times where my throat was kind of irritated.
Yep.
And if you're a stage singer trying to really belt it out, I could see you going, I'm doing damage here. I need to stop,
She's performing, well, what you said is actually, Preston, technically it's Cobra the musical.
Oh, okay.
I got a toothpick in my mouth.
The stars.
I'm the cure, you're the disease.
The stars understudy.
That guy has a really weird chin, and he's swinging hammers in the air.
Right? Clank, clank.
clink, clink. Steve, here's the other thing. The mole that was in the police,
oh my
he
God.
had her dead to rights 3 different times.
Yeah.
3 times. He walks out and she's in a phone booth. He's like, who are you talking to? I don't know.
Oh, nobody. I'm
baby.
calling Santa.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And then the next
roof. For a second there, I think I hope she's not calling the guy with the stupid chin. If you haven't seen the movie, you
wouldn't understand all
I
of that.
haven't. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never. Oh, wow.
Well, everybody says it's a bad movie. I don't need to waste my time on a bad movie.
You're well within your rights to avoid it.
Okay,
Yeah, but
good.
when
If you're ever feeling weak or if you feel like you've done nothing in this world, Nick, put on Cobra and you'll feel like Orson Welles.
I would really like to make it to my deathball having never seen the movie.
No.
And I will high five you on that day.
It's worth the watch, but I'm just surprised you avoided it as a child.
I now really want to avoid it. I avoided it back then.
Do you know what? It actually came at the ass end of all of the there was the Chuck Norris films, and there were all these lone, loose cannon movies, and this surprisingly came in at the end of it.
Casey, when these came out, like Rambo, the first Rambo movie obviously is a great movie, and then the second one it started getting cartoony. I was a little Stalloned out when Cobra came out, and then I was brought back in by Tango and Cash.
Well, now you're talking.
Yeah.
This is script
That movie's terrible.
by David Mamet.
Oh, it's terrible.
Is it Mamet? David Mamet wrote that?
All right.
See this suit? It costs more than your car.
All right. I have one more story.
Oh, all right.
Wednesday, the show will get darker in season 2. Jenna Ortega said during Variety's Actor on Actor series that the show will ditch any romantic love interest for Wednesday, which wouldn't make sense anyway. You can't see Wednesday in a relationship, really, because she's so demented.
I think they pulled off what little they flirted with.
I agree.
Yeah, but there's going to have to be a really weird guy who catches her, or maybe they go the absolute opposite and get a bookish regular guy.
Well, so they're going to lean into the horror aspect of the show more. So I love it. That's the right move for that.
Have we all watched it here? Kathy, did you watch Wednesday?
You didn't watch Wednesday?
You know what?
It's fun.
So it was on, and I got from the first episode to the last episode. Jace watched it, loved it. I watched it with him, but I didn't really watch it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I wasn't paying attention. I was doing other stuff, and he was in the room, and he on the phone, whole thing, and he loved it. So
it's great.
I feel like I need to, and he thinks I watched it, so I feel like I need to go back watch it so I can watch the new season with
so
him.
you don't have to lie to him.
Right, exactly.
All right, we're ready for the clips now. The Boogeyman is the newest
Cookie Man
adaptation from Stephen King. And in this clip, Sophie Thatcher discusses her thoughts on King's other adaptations.
I taught myself that I can be that I can release myself and I don't always have to be in control and aware. Because to get to these points of such crazy circumstances and such so much anxiety, you just have to release yourself. You have to rid yourself of ego. You have to be okay, I'm just gonna commit.
Oh, shut up, woman.
That has nothing to do with what it said it was. It says she was talking about discusses her thoughts on King's other adaptations. That's not what that was at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
All right. Preston, I meant to tell you this the other day. My dad is reading his first Stephen King book ever, and it's the 11/22/63. Is that
Okay,
what
sure.
that's called?
Yeah.
And he showed. We were at his house for his birthday the other day. And he's like, "Man, this book is long." It is, but he's really enjoying it so far.
There's a series.
I saw the series. I've not read the book. I heard it's great. I need to read it. I'm rereading Mr. Mercedes, which is fantastic, by the way. All right, here we go. Next clip. Transformers Rise of the Beasts picks up the story of our favorite automobiles. And here, director Stephen Capel Jr. discusses the Transformers universe. What? Capel?
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
couple.
Yeah, a couple.
Here we go.
I think one big thing that we forget with Transformers, we've seen so many Autobots and Decepticons that we don't realize that the universe is so big. I'm fanning out. I'm just I love the cartoons, right? So I'm just why don't we bring those in? Bring in the Terracons, bring in the Predacons, bring in the Maximals. And so to be able to say, hey, this universe is expanded. We have more beyond Earth, more beyond Cybertron is really exciting.
Transformers Rise of the Beast in theaters tomorrow.
Do you know it's a really solid movie in that whole series? Bumblebee.
Yeah.
It's really done well.
A solo movie for him? I never saw it.
Well, yeah, it's yes.
Haley Steinfeld's in it?
Right.
Yeah.
It's pulled in a bit, Preston. So you know how sometimes we really don't like the everything's blowing up into the world scenario.
Right.
So it's pulled in the story's a little bit more intimate. It's really good.
All right. And I like Haley Steinfeld a lot. So, all right. So that's it for the entertainment report. We do need to take a break. We have a bunch happening today. We have a school that's been chosen for our final coolest teacher of the year. It's Woodbury Junior and Senior High School in Woodbury, New Jersey. So if you go to school there, just text the word teacher to 39333 and we'll send you the voting link. Tom Papa will be on the show, and we have a concert announcement as well. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Hang out.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Wait, hold on a second. Honey, where's my reported bad name list?
It's in the closet.
No, I looked in there. I was looking for the dog's chew toy. I'll get back to you. What's your number? Give me your number.
By the way, Mercy.
I remembered it.
By the way,
he gets a call late at night.
No, he calls him back later on.
Better call this guy up. Yeah. You're a yellow crumb snake.
Have a lovely
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a lovely evening.
For that creep.
Oh, you creme creep cram. You're an apple crumb creep cake. A la moron.
Yeah, that wasn't that good.
Scratch that one off.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's.
I think when I try to do French desserts, it doesn't work out. I stick with the German stuff.
Oh my God.
I'm glad we revisited that.
Oh my God, I'm getting tears on my glasses here. Do you remember the squirtable butter used to come in a thing?
Yeah, butter spray.
Is that what?
I
no,
can't
not
believe it's
spray,
not
not
butter.
spray.
There's an actual like liquid, almost
Really?
like
liquidy
like the way you
butter.
dispense mustard.
It was
don't
more
remember
back in the 80s probably, and if you had a waffle, you could go blink, 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 blink in each little.
Okay.
I had a waffle.
Each little
I'd eat it
crevice.
in the morning. Yeah, there we go.
You
Parkway.
need butter in every little square?
You do.
If you're
you're a man.
If you're a man. No.
Okay.
No, I obsess about little things like that.
Okay.
It's just like weird.
So your answer is yes, you do.
Yeah, I have a butter memory with Preston that is probably 19 years old. Do you know what it is?
Butter memory.
Preston, do you remember the butter memory?
That's probably 19 years old.
19 years old.
memories.
You would have to butter memories. You would have to give me a hint.
Me, you, Steve, and Marilyn.
Wow.
that wraps it up.
Butterfest,
Did a show
1998.
for 3 years together.
Media Court Diner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know the butter memory?
Yeah.
Oh, well, do tell.
So we're sitting there, and it's after we had done a show, and we're having lunch, and there was
We're all just getting to know each other, by the way.
yeah, we're all getting to know each other, and so they had a little ramekin full of butter, which is a small dish. And so I guess it was a ball of butter or something like that. And we're just talking, and I just reach out and grab it and just squish it with my hand, just to be outrageous,
provocative.
I'm like, ooh, butter.
Yeah.
And I did that, and he died laughing. So.
I was like, what? I wish I would have done that.
On the first sight.
That looked fun.
Butter memories.
But if I owned a diner and
I dine in the morning.
and I was serving waffles, there would be a special little spray that I would put melted butter in so that you could go.
You would keep it like you could even have it as you could have the way you have a mug warmer where your butter could be on it and with the pump so that you could dispense that
Now
way.
it would need to be more like misty,
like a fire hose.
No, like
a spray bottle.
like a spray bottle, like you would spray your indoor plants.
Like a spritz.
I disagree. I think that the butter, like the spray butter, you're lessening the quality of the butter product. And if you're going to have like actual butter, you're going to need to have like a vat of melted butter. This is your diner, so I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business.
You open your own diner next door and do
build your own goddamn
normal, boring pats of butter.
I kind of want to work with you, like almost like as if I was your therapist, and to make you okay with not having butter in every square. Like it's all right.
No, I know.
It's still going to taste good. You're going to get enough butter.
Believe me, I've
Touchstone Pictures. He had to have butter in every square until a concerned therapist came into his life. My name is Romano. I think I can help you.
Then we need some good music, like
yes,
Peter
inspiring.
Gabriel,
Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill. Yeah. See if you can pull that. So the serious part when he realizes he has a problem.
Oh, no, I can't even get it together anymore. Every time I go into the diner, I start trembling like crazy. I think I know someone you can talk to. And then she came into his life. My name's Romano, and today's the day we start making changes. From Touchstone Pictures, the story of a boy who learned now how to not have butter in every square of his waffle. Butter Squareless Waffle Boy.
Butter Squareless Waffle Boy?
Or something to that effect.
It's a butter therapist.
I feel like I already went through this with Jace. Like at breakfast time. It's okay, honey.
Unbutterable.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah.
I'm doing it!
I just recently had some butt issues the other day, man.
Packing a flounder, didn't you?
Packing a flounder.
I told Casey about it. I had to make what my friend calls a butt tampon out of toilet paper.
Oh, yes.
By
We've
the
all
way,
been there.
What?
We've all been there.
No,
Really? No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
No, we have not all been there.
Not Kathy. Come to say you call it swamp ass.
Yeah.
You call it a visit from your friend.
Oh, and she and Kathy always insists that it's because
Just take
of
a shower.
My hygiene. That's not
You
it.
are dirt. Your ass is dirty.
It's from cleaning too much.
There, he's right.
You rub it raw.
He's right. You
That's what
rub it raw.
happened.
Yes.
No, just get in the shower. That
do this-
clean,
I do
not
it.
wipe with toilet paper.
No. Kathy did, and it's painful.
I don't believe you.
Oh my God! You can just
Here's the deal. So I can tell you, I have a spotless butt. I'm telling, spick and span. But sometimes I tend to overclean.
Yes. Thank you, Steve.
Yes.
We worked together for 20 years, and
you never know.
You never know.
I apologize for never turning around and parting my cheeks to show you.
Preston, you told me about packing a flounder the other day.
That's what it's called, by the way. Somebody years ago told us, my friend used to call that packing a flounder.
What? Putting
toilet paper
tissue
between your butt cheeks.
Yeah, it's a butt tampon.
To help to keep the chafing down.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're pre-med, keep listening because this is valuable information.
But I just have a question for you because you were telling me
that hadn't happened in years. By the way,
Right.
I had an issue with it the other day, and it's all better now. I'm great.
There you go.
Go ahead.
And we do share a lot of intimate information.
Of course we
do.
do.
But you had told me this packing the flounder thing, and I was thinking about it later on in the day because it had a tone as if you thought,
it was wistful.
As if you thought I have packed a flounder before.
No, I just remember you finding it funny.
Okay.
I remember you finding that particular phrase funny, and that's why I brought
It is a funny phrase.
Yeah.
But I've yet to pack a flounder.
Okay. Well, count yourself lucky, sir.
Yeah, all right.
Because it's not a fun experience.
Few the proud.
I woke up in the middle of the night and did it. I told you that. Yeah, I went to the restaurant.
It can be quite uncomfortable.
I'm going to pack a flounder now.
Yes.
And I did, and it helped, and it worked.
You know what? You're missing a product here, and Preston's flounders.
Yeah. Preston's. There's a little alliteration there with the P. Packing a flounder. Preston's, but I need flounder packer, maybe something like that.
Preston's fantastic flounder packer. It's kind of like like an alliterative sandwich with the P's on the outside and the F's in the middle.
Yeah, I like it.
Fantastic flounders and how to pack them.
I like that too.
It's a little long.
Yeah, it is.
Please welcome of Simple Minds, Mr. Jim Kerr.
Yeah. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. A real pleasure to be here.
And by the way, Jim Kerr, I believe, is actually how you pronounce your last name, correct?
You got it right. In Glasgow, they would say that.
In Glasgow.
Here, they say more kind of Kerr, which is nice. Yeah. But we're a bit hard on the E, Kerr.
It reminds you where you are, I guess, when you hear your name pronounced a certain way.
Well, my mother's favorite actress was Deborah Kerr.
That's a good choice.
So, nice compliment.
There you go.
I would like to, I'm going to start by throwing a lot of love your way. Your performance, and I'll get right to the song that broke the band in the United States, Don't You Forget About Me. Your performance of that particular song means so much to me. 1986, around that range, was when I was a senior in high school. The Breakfast Club, the film had come out, and it just spoke directly to a person like me. The song was such a huge part of the emotional impact of that film, and it has now become my almost... It's tangible, the emotion that I feel when I hear the song. It takes me back to that time in my life that was so important in my own personal development. I'm actually getting a little choked up here when I'm talking. And you were the passion in your voice. Now, I'm probably going to overuse the word passion as we talk to you, Jim, because that's how I always categorize your vocal style. You're singing very, very passionate. And at that time, it rose above a lot of the other things that were on the radio at the time. And so, number one, I want to thank you. And I know that song wasn't written by you or your bandmates, but I think what you did with it just went above and beyond.
It's the performance.
And surpassed what that song really was.
Well, it's an honor to have any song that means so much to people, but particularly with that song, we are aware in the States, actually elsewhere, that song and the movie meant so much not only to that generation, but amazingly subsequent generations as well seem to have. It still seems those John Hughes movies, he really hit a nerve. And I know what you mean in the sense that, I'm a music fan as well, and it's an amazing thing with music. Even more than film, I think, in photographs, you hear certain songs and it takes you back to a place. It takes you to the very emotion.
Most definitely.
And there are certain songs that do that for me. For me, it was always radio in my mother's house. There's certain songs I hear, I can actually feel we called it Formica table, this cheap, this cheap breakfast table, because, the radio was there. We listened to radio breakfast, as everyone does here. Yeah. And there's certain songs I can actually feel, I'm right at the table, And I get a little teary about that as well.
Oh my God, it's so true.
It's so powerful, and you and I'm curious. Here I am, a chance to meet you and say thank you in person and so forth. And you've had a tremendously successful career. Have you ever had a chance to speak to someone a la David Bowie and say that song meant so much to me? And do you feel a little odd saying that? Because I know you've heard it so many times, and I don't know if it gets old to you or not, and I feel a little embarrassed that I'm saying all this to you.
Well, you bet. I mean, whenever I'm not cool when I meet people that have
broke whatever is on the inside of this thing.
The tapestry of curse words that was coming out of his mouth 30 seconds ago.
The lights went on just after he said "seasucker."
I don't think we got that on the air. I think we're clear.
And he broke it.
And he broke whatever
broke
was
it.
inside of there. All right, he's given up. He's officially given
I'm
up.
going to get this email. I'm going to thank this guy for sending it, and then I'm going to throw it away without knowing what it is.
Wow, he's really going to be
It's a
excited.
gift.
It's a wonderful thing that everybody wants.
I don't know what it is.
I have
It
no
was so, and that actually is. It may be a topic sometime of how people overly tape up packages on occasion. Let's have a look at traffic right now, though, and see what's going on. Kathy, what do you have for us?
Well, wait, it was obviously glass. The guy was protecting it.
I heard it shatter.
And he shattered it.
We were both working it for a while, and he was trying. We were trying, and Casey was trying very hard, and then he just tried to move a flap of cardboard down, and you heard it crack.
495 southbound at Philadelphia Pike, exit 5. An accident there. 2 left lanes are blocked. 95 southbound out of the northeast jams from Cotman all the way into the Vine Expressway. The Vine westbound slowing the lane. Schuylkill Expressway eastbound slows 202 into Belmont. And then you are jammed from the Boulevard to Spring Garden, South Street to University, westbound side from Bear Avenue to South Street, the Boulevard out to Belmont, and then the Blue Route to Gulf Mills. Delays on the Boulevard southbound, Broad to Fox. 422 eastbound, slowing Trooper to First Avenue. And then in New Jersey, 42 north is heavy from 41 to 295. And then from there to 676 through the construction. 55 northbound, heavy Deptford to 42. This traffic report brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Everything is just peachy at Whole Foods Market. Got organic, yellow, or white peaches for $3.29 per pound with Prime through June 13th. Shop in-store or online. Terms apply. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Okay, so we found out what was in the package.
Okay, what was it?
It's a really large framed poster of a pictorial history of Delaware County.
Oh, it's really nice.
So clearly, this was for Casey, but
I want to thank Jeffrey Day, who sent me an email on Monday, and he, the body of the email he put into the subject line. Okay, so. And it just says, I'm mailing, in the subject line, it says, I'm mailing you a gift. I know you will love it. It's a picture of Ducko, it started, and then I think he ran out of characters in the subject line. So Jeffrey Day, I want to thank you. I also want to apologize
for shattering
the glass.
Well, you can get that replaced.
Yeah. And I also want to apologize to the rest of the world if there's a tape shortage. Because Jeffrey used the tape.
He used all the tape.
He used all the tape in the world.
Mind you, it was both of us at one point trying to get it open.
Hang on, where are the scissors?
Well, I bent the scissors back.
Oh, you bent them back.
I bent them back.
They were actually bent.
I bent these scissors just trying to cut through the tape.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it was...
Wait, is there shattered glass over there now?
It's all contained inside
Okay.
the bubble because it was taped, bubble wrapped, cardboarded.
And taped within the box to the box.
But I heard the glass shatter at one point.
Yeah, well, it
And I
was
was mad at
taped like
myself.
that to protect it.
Yeah.
But it was
Breaking,
bubble
and it
wrapped
didn't
as well.
break. And the being shipped here, it just broke here.
And I actually didn't even... The thing that makes me mad... And did you call me a spaz, by the way? Is that what you said? Okay, I wasn't.
Yeah, you were spazzing a little over there.
I was mad at myself because I was so ginger about it. And the final thing that shattered the glass, all I did is I pressed down on the cardboard. But
you did, the simplest action was the one that broke it.
Yeah, he somehow taped all of the bubble wrap to the inside of the box, and that's what ended up the pressure ended up shattering. Listen, I can get a new frame for it, and I can get.
It's a wonderful. It's honestly very thoughtful.
I really appreciate that.
Maybe a little less tape next time, but still pretty impressive and a very generous gesture.
I do get mad at some envelopes that I receive, and people will put tape around all the seams.
Yeah.
And why? Why are you doing that?
First off, I don't want to get mail.
Just the adhesive alone on the seal.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Right.
Or are they afraid people are going to tamper with it?
Or steam it open?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
don't know.
It's but watching that take place just a moment ago kind of made my week. So thank you, Jeff.
Jeff. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So anyway, that just totally threw me off a little bit. What?
There's a note inside, and I just read the PS. It says, "Hope the glass stayed intact."
Oh no!
It did until about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, it did. It stayed completely
absolutely.
intact.
Well done.
Until Casey got his hands on it. How would you like to hear about some things going on around our area?
Yeah.
Let's hit the street, folks. It's time for the city beat.
Man.
I got some stories to share. Yep.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was ready for just saying, but I can roll. I'm fluid. Man.
Oh, okay.
No.
You just said incidentally, and so.
Man, your call.
Let's go with this.
I'm free and easy like a jazz player.
So let's go with this. 2 years ago, Brad Inglesby, we were talking about this off air yesterday, Nick.
I emailed him yesterday.
Introduced the world to the beauty of the Delco accent in his HBO series Mayor of Easttown. And the Berwyn native is keeping things local with his upcoming movie now in production in North Jersey. It's called Echo Valley.
Heard about this.
An Apple Studios thriller written and produced by Inglesby, and it follows a string of chilling events that unfold for a horse trainer and her daughter on a picturesque farm in southeastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I've known Brad since he was a kid. He used to play baseball with my brother, and he's did Mayor of Easttown. He's done a few different movies, written and directed, and he lives in the area. He was living in L.A., and he moved back to our area, so he's going to come in studio after they're done filming. I think filming is supposed to wrap up on like the 29th or the 30th of this month, and so he's busy with that until filming is finished, but then he's going to come by and tell us about this project and anything else that's going on.
Go ahead. Is it supposed to be set in Devon by any chance?
I think it's supposed to be set in like the New Hope area, if I read correctly.
So the film, which goes by the production name Wild Vale, but it's actually Echo Valley, is scheduled for shoots in Hunterdon County through June, according to the New Jersey Motion Picture and Television Commission. So they put a casting call out. Yeah. And they are specifically looking for, and they may have already cast it, I'm not sure, because they did it earlier this month, but 10 to 14-year-old girls with horseback riding experience.
Okay.
For scenes being shot on Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, there's no shortage of those here.
I guess that's today, maybe.
Oh, Echo Valley, by the way, is Newtown Square.
Okay.
I completely forgot. I have friends who live not live, but they live in that area.
You've just been through a trauma. We understand.
Echo Valley is a nickname for Newtown Square?
No, there are pockets of Newtown Square, and Echo Valley is a pocket of Newtown Square.
Okay. So anyhow, yeah, they were going to shoot, I guess, maybe today. Maybe that casting call is over. There was also a call posted for teenagers with real lifeguarding experience.
Oh, but I'm 48.
Oh, we could do it, Katie.
They won't know.
For filming in Rockaway, Morris County in late June.
It'll be like Grease, like when they played.
Play teenagers.
That's right, yeah.
So far,
something wrong with that kid.
The Echo Valley cast includes Julianne Moore, Sydney Sweeney, and Domhnall Gleeson.
Yes.
Michael Pierce, BAFTA award-winning director for 2017's Beast, will direct.
You know, he also wrote the Way Back, the Ben Affleck film about the alcoholic basketball coach.
Inglesby did?
It was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the director of that movie in, and I can't remember the name. He also did Out of the Furnace, and that guy wrote and directed. Brad wrote Out of the Furnace, and Scott Cooper directed it.
Sydney Sweeney.
She is Euphoria, the it girl on the White Lotus.
Yeah.
Real hottie,
real sexy.
I saw her on a movie last night at an HBO. I think it's a made-for-HBO movie where she is, I think we reported on it, Preston. She is being investigated by the FBI for turning over spy secrets.
She was...
she's excellent.
She was so unlikable in White Lotus that I don't like her because of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm like, I could see her easily being that way. She pulled it off so well in White Lotus.
It's called Reality, Steve? That HBO show? Yeah,
Did you see any of it?
I have not. I've heard it's good.
So, along with Inglesby, Ridley Scott, who directed Apple's Last Duel, and the studio's upcoming Napoleon, is a producer on this. Scott! That gets me every time you play that. Echo Valley will focus on Kate, who is played by Julianne Moore, a woman who spends her days boarding and training horses on the secluded Echo Valley farm following a personal tragedy. One night, her daughter, Claire, who's played by Sweeney, arrives on her doorstep, scared and covered in someone else's blood, which sets off a thrilling chain of events.
It's always hard when that happens.
Inglesby, Nick, to follow up on his history, went to Archbishop Carroll and Villanova, and is no stranger to setting and filming dramas in the area because Mayor of Easttown, which accumulated 16 Emmy nominations, winning 4, were shot in our area.
He's the new M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
You know
Yes,
what I mean?
there's 2 of them. No, there's the second season, from what I understand, of Mayor of Easttown is in the works or
Is it?
pre-production.
Really?
Yes. That's what I've heard.
That would be awesome.
I love the first one, or the only one, if this is wrong.
Yeah, see, it seemed like a one-off story, but I mean, she is a cop, so
Yeah.
you can go multiple stories in a police storyline,
And they can
so-
focus in on Rutledge now.
maybe.
Yes.
It's,
Well, what's really
all
funny
8 streets.
is is it 15 streets? Is Easttown in Mayor of Easttown is not like Easttown.
No, it's not.
No. No.
Easttown is that is where Night Shyamalan lives.
By the
and
way-
it's a lot ritzier.
And I have a Night Shyamalan story coming up next. I want to defend something about Mayor of Easttown because they kind of caught some crap because at one point, Mayor was wearing an Avalon sweatshirt and people were going, no way. No way did she go to Avalon. I think she just visited there.
Yeah,
And-
maybe she has
and-
a friend that gave her shirt.
Yeah.
What's that?
She has a friend that gave her the shirt.
Yeah, or she just bought it to have an Avalon shirt. You know,
Or she thought
they
it said
say
Avon.
She'd be more like a Wildwood gal or something like that. So
Listen, man, you go all up and down that Jersey Shore, and like I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like the ritziest can go to.
Well, I know.
I don't
I'm
want to
just
say
saying-
anything because I don't want to like.
I'm just saying she probably visited Avalon. She probably couldn't afford to go there. She was, she was more meager.
Paying for the whole family there.
lifestyle.
Listen, I went to Avalon when I was growing up. My dad was a truck driver, and my mom worked at the post office. It's not like we were.
I bet you your mom
people.
could have opened that package.
My dad.
We should have called your mom to open this package.
Oh no, she would have broken herself in half.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying she knows her way around the mail, man.
Absolutely.
Just real quick about the Inglesby family before you move on to the next story. It's a really great and interesting family. Martin is the head coach at University of Delaware. He went to Notre Dame, and he's a really successful basketball coach. The dad, Tom Inglesby, and my dad have known each other for a really long time. Tom played in the NBA, was a star at Villanova, and now to see Brad have this much success is really cool. It's nice to have an association with them and just know the kids and see how well they're doing as adults.
Good for them.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes, another City Beat story. Don't we have a new City Beat
Yes, we
jingle
do.
or something, Casey?
You got Preston. He just had a situation. Give him a
Remember,
break.
you came up with 2 little clips or a clip to play from a song.
Okay. Yes. My
I'm not saying to replace our awesome bass line there.
But to accentuate it.
Yeah. My bad. Because I thought you were talking about like new themes. I was like, no, we don't have a theme.
No, but you had a little piece of music that mentions the city or something like that.
Yeah. You're gonna. Oh my God.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Next time, when we get to the next story, I'm going to rock it, bro.
A portion of Chester County's Kirkwood Farm, which was purchased by M. Night Shyamalan earlier this year, would be sold to the Williamstown Conservation Trust as part of a public preservation project.
This is awesome.
Yes. The preservation group will open its 90 acres of the 218-acre farm to the public later on this year with walking trails connecting travelers, hikers, and cyclists in the rolling hills and grasslands.
And I love the name, Preston and Steve Akers.
I'm a big fan of that.
I mean, because we're friends with Knight.
I feel really humbled, but,
honored.
and honored.
Didn't even see it coming.
No. The rest of the farm will continue to be owned by Shyamalan, who purchased the land in March to protect it from development. Located across the street from Williamstown Conservation Trust headquarters on Plumstock and Providence Roads in Newtown Square, the Preston and Steve farm was listed for sale last fall and purchased by the Knock at the Cabin director this spring.
Is it Williamstown or Willistown?
I'm sorry, you're right, Willistown. Thank you, Casey.
Okay.
The organization.
What's she talking about?
Willistown?
The organization has spent the last several months working with Shyamalan on an agreement which was finalized on Friday.
I think he should hire, because it's Night Shyamalan, he should hire a creepy sort of Scooby-Doo caretaker.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, that'd be perfect.
And have that person remain in that character all the time.
The land's natural resources include acres of grasslands, hills, woodlands, and 2 tributaries to Ridley Creek. It provides habitat for wildlife, including nesting migratory birds whose numbers are declining. The portion of Kirkwood Farm is connected to other public preserves, including Rushton Woods Preserve.
Oh, I've been there.
Kirkwood Preserve and Okahawking Preserve.
Kirkwood Preserve. Excuse me. Kirkwood Preserve.
Dude.
By the way, Steve.
Kirkwood, excuse me.
My friend is a caretaker on his property.
kidding.
Yeah,
That's right. He
Yeah. I don't want to say I got him the job. He got himself the job, but it became available. He lives on the property.
That's
and
terrific.
He takes care of a whole bunch of different things on the property.
That'd be interesting to be a caretaker.
Yeah.
Like you live there and
I think that's tremendous. If that's, and also if obviously you have to be adept at that, but I think that's I assume room and board is included, Case, or
Oh,
no?
yeah. He has a house on the property.
You'd have to be a kind of a jack of all trades to be a quote unquote caretaker.
I got lost on their property once.
Really?
So we were invited over for dinner for the foundation. They would have us over, and there was directions on how to get there. So you have to go through a gate that you got to be let in. All of that.
It's 125 acres, by the way. His property.
So that he owns,
That he
not the
lives
new
on.
one. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So and you can't see the house. You have to drive to whatever. It actually felt like I was there on like a foggy evening. I felt like I was in one of his movies driving up to it.
Was
But I
everyone
had
wearing clothes from like the 1860s in a village, and they couldn't understand the car you were driving?
No, but I had to call one of his assistants, and she like directed me. I was like, okay, got it. I got there, and then I was leaving. She's like, "Are you going to be all right leaving?" I'm like, "Yes." It was not that hard. I just wasn't sure. Nope. Got lost. Had to call her. I was like, I'm at a horse stable. I was like, where am I? And how do I get out of here? She's like, oh. Yeah, she's like, you got to turn around. Yeah, I mean, I was lost driving just from his house down the driveway to try to get out to the main road.
I'm on the 3rd season of Succession, and there's a scene where they get lost on this guy's property, Adrian Brody.
Yes,
he gets lost on his own property.
This is 125 acres, so it would be easy to get lost.
By the way,
jerk off. Forgive me, Kirk off.
That's the dedication.
By the way, the name of his home, his family home, is called Ravenwood.
Ooh, I like that.
Perfect, man.
It's, I mean, as you can imagine, it is beautiful. It's
As you can imagine.
It's not like, it's not what you would expect as far as, like a Hollywood home, someone, who's in Hollywood and this big, house that they built. It's, I feel like it's very them, but it's gorgeous.
What I've seen of it and interiors, it looks beautiful.
We're looking at the outside of it. It looks like farm. It looks like
it is.
farm houses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
As you could imagine.
But anyhow, both Shyamalan and the sellers wanted to protect the space from development.
Yes.
And that's why that's why they purchased this and then are selling it back to
people can enjoy it.
Yep. So
Jerkwood Estates.
The preservation project is already underway with private funding and a $500,000 grant secured from the Chester County Commissioners. So they did that. Hang on. I have Barbara, who has a caretaker connection. Hi, Barbara. Good morning.
I'm so glappy to be talking to you guys.
You're so glappy.
If you're glappy and you know it, clap your hands.
Clap your
hands. What's up, Barbara?
So my grandparents immigrated from Ireland when they were 16 and 18 years old, and they found a job here in media as caretakers for a very wealthy family.
Wow.
And so what were some of their duties?
My grandfather was a chauffeur for them and, did like the lawn and taking care of plumbing, any kind of repairs on the place. And my grandmother was the maid and the cook.
So they were the live-in staff. They had their own home on the premises, or did they live in the main home?
They had a huge home mansion, and my dad and my 2 aunts grew up in like a huge home on the main line.
Wow.
Because of that, you know what I mean? And my grandfather was even able to like chauffeur them to school and things like that and stuff. So it was really cool.
That's cool.
You're like a go-to person. You have to, if they ask you to do it, you got to be able to do it.
On a lesser scale, you think of Brad Pitt and Leo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's sort of a go-to guy.
All right. Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate it.
Fix my TV antenna and drive me to work.
All right. Let's see if my new City Beat jingle is there. right, so here's one. This is cool. A thing, I got a press release for this. Pixar Putt is coming to Philadelphia with a pop-up Pixar-inspired mini golf experience on the waterfront. And it will take over the Great Plaza at Penn's Landing.
They need to, I mean, for so long, we've been waiting for them to flesh out the waterfront. So much opportunity there. So this is very cool.
But this is a pop-up, so it's not a permanent installation. Starting with previews on July 1st and the official grand opening on July 6th, so right after the holiday weekend through October 1st. And so it's 18 holes of interactive, Instagrammable, inspired holes inspired by the stories, characters, and icons from some of Disney and Pixar's most beloved films.
We're looking at some of it. I love miniature golf. I love these kind of things. We used to have that miniature golf thing that we do the station would.
Yeah, the Mini Masters.
Mini Masters. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I do, and as a player of the actual game of golf, I love miniature golf. I think it's so much fun. I'm bummed my kids are too old. I mean, we still will for fun go do it every now and then, but when you go with kids that are appropriately aged, it's a blast.
It's like a little amusement park too if they've done it right.
Totally.
Yeah.
So here are the movies that will be represented in the Pixar pop-up or the Pixar Putt. Turning Red. That was a cute movie.
It was.
Lightyear, Toy Story, The Incredibles, Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, Coco, A Bug's Life. I knew that was coming. WALL-E, Soul, Inside Out, and a bunch of others. And
well, there you go.
Tickets are on sale now. Now, I don't have the ticket on sale information, but if you do a quick search on Pixar Putt Philadelphia, I'm sure
just type in tickets and Pixar Putt will come up.
Where's it going to be? Is it going to Franklin Square?
No, it's at Penn's Landing.
Oh.
Yeah, the Great Plaza at Penn's Landing.
Okay.
So they're going to have that set up, and it starts on July 6th. Previews on July 1st.
Are you supposed to type in pics of putts?
No. Pixar.
Oh, Pixar.
Putt.
Gotcha.
And
type in D-pics.
Pics of putts. I've forgotten that a penis is a putt.
A putt, yeah. Putts, pud, those are great terms.
Yeah, great terms.
There's another miniature golf course called Blue Waffle that's opening up.
Okay.
Do a quick search on that.
Right.
And you'll see what we're talking about. Next story in the City Beat. Let's go to this. All right. This speaks directly to Kathy Romano.
Ooh.
This was a survey that was done. They compared the 200 biggest U.S. cities this is from a group called Lawn Love. And it's to celebrate June as Great Outdoors Month. And they ranked 2023's best cities for bird watching.
This is right in your wheelhouse. You said you looked at a bird the other day.
I did.
Yeah.
And Philly finished in the top 10. We are number 7.
Yay!
That's not bad.
Well, we do have the John Heinz Wildlife. I mean, that is
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So many people don't take it. It is really great. Have you gone?
No.
Turn our microphone off.
So even if you don't like the birds, you walk around and they have these long sort of what would you call them, piers or bridges across. There's a lot of water.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. But the path is laid out in so many wonderful different ways. There's a ton of wildlife, Kathy. You would dig it, I tell you.
So they, based on 4 categories, they compared the 200 biggest U.S. cities.
Is one of those categories weight?
Some of them are access and bird variety, and they factored in bird species checklists indicating birding popularity.
I saw an osprey at Heinz Park.
And Audubon chapters among 14 total metrics.
Have you been to the Audubon house called Mill Grove?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Kathy would hate it, but it's nice.
And you can walk down to the river and everything, down those trails.
Yeah. Not the Perkiomen. Or is it the Perkiomen at the bottom of that?
I think
hill?
it is.
Yeah,
I think it's the Perk Trail. Maybe that's where it turns into the Schuylkill Trail. I'm not sure.
Right, and then that ends up merging with the Schuylkill River. But yeah, where it was John James Audubon's house at one point, and it's part of where the Audubon Society began.
It's wonderful. I love that.
Yep. So the other top cities, New York's number 1. I never would have guessed that, right?
It's a hellhole.
For birding? That I guess Central Park. I mean, where else are you going?
I bet you they're not talking about New York City.
You know what? Yeah, no. Well, it says they did. Yeah,
I thought it was based on cities.
Yep, it says New York City. Yeah,
and I've no. If they're going with Central Park, knock it off. If you don't mind, if you like ducks with graffiti on them, that's perfect for you.
Number 2 is San Diego. 3 is Houston. 4 is Seattle. 5, Los Angeles. 6, San Francisco. And number 7, Philadelphia.
Don't we have the city of Philadelphia has the largest contiguous park system?
Well, it has. Yeah, I mean,
I think it dwarfs Central Park.
it's bigger.
Fairmount, yeah.
Fairmount. Because of the way that it stretches through the city. It at one point maybe still is the largest contiguous park contained within a city. Also, Steve, much more riverfront property than New York City because of the Schuylkill and the Delaware.
And
so New York can kiss our ass.
The word Philadelphia is actually Greek for bird city.
Is it really?
No.
Shut up.
Oh, my God.
I like the little hiccup.
He cracks himself up.
He does. I know. Listen to that giggle.
No, it wasn't that cracked me up. It was
The reaction.
the reaction.
Yeah.
I got 2 realies.
I enjoyed it.
Well, I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't know what the derivation of Philadelphia is. Do you?
Yeah, city of brotherly
Shut
love.
up.
Philadelphia. It like
That's the nickname.
No, that's what it means.
Is it what it means?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, listen, I think birds are stupid. But Steve got me a gift. And so we need to know where there's hummingbirds and where, because, should I say what it is?
Yes!
Save it. Oh,
We talked about it.
Oh, we did talk about it on the air. It's a hummingbird helmet, and you put. I found this video a couple weeks ago of a little girl. She was wrapped in a red blanket with this hummingbird helmet on it. I showed Steve, and so Steve bought me the helmet. So we have this, and you put these little like fake flowers in the helmet, and then you put the nectar in there, and then you're supposed to sit still,
And the hummingbirds
will come and fly right in front of your face. So I want to try this and see if it'll work.
We wouldn't probably have hummingbirds in the parking lot, would we? Or would it be even worth trying?
I have no idea.
Well, that's why I was
Nick,
mentioning.
You're
it's
the.
I mean, I have them in my backyard. You know, if you set up a feeder and you have an area that's green enough, that you can certainly have them. Kathy, I mean, honestly, come over sometime
Now-
because we have a hummingbird feeder in our house, and they show up at specific times of the year. I haven't
well,
seen one.
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
It's a little early now, is it not?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen one in the past few weeks. Yes,
I had one. I had a hummingbird sighting
dinner.
like less than a mile from here. I was having coffee at the landing kitchen. And there was a straight up hummingbird.
No kidding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not going to try to pull that off on the air,
Why?
right?
I would have
You
loved
should.
She, but I
Why?
don't
I
think.
could just sit outside
For the day.
with the microphone,
Shut up.
and when a hummingbird
right,
comes, I'll give you a little.
Maybe we give her an hour. But what we need to do is set her right up front at the main entrance.
This is for video.
Yeah, you have to see. Did I show you the video of the little girl? Like, I
No.
think that's how I should do
Yeah.
it. She's wrapped. I'll show you the video.
We'll just sit you on a chair, and maybe you'll get a hummingbird.
All right, I want to get one more city beat in, and then we got to take a break. So Cirque du Soleil Bazaar is coming to our area. It's making its North American debut at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center at Oaks, and will premiere on September 26th. It's a little ways off.
I resisted Cirque du Soleil for years because it seemed like the sort of trendy thing when it first came out, and then I actually saw some shows. They're friggin' awesome.
Yeah, I've never seen them live.
Yeah.
I want to go. And
Oh,
I'll
really? I
Probably
thought you
go to
had.
this. Yeah, no, I never have.
Oh, my favorite was the Beatles show in Vegas,
Yeah,
the Cirque du
love.
Soleil. Oh my God.
I really,
Oh my God.
I think that still runs.
Yeah.
Because I want to see that. But this is Cirque du Soleil Bazaar is what this is called. And I read from the press release, an eclectic lab of infinite creativity where a joyful troupe of acrobats, dancers, and musicians craft an awe-inspiring spectacle. So this will continue through October 22nd. So it runs from
What the hell are you talking about?
September 22nd through September 26th through October 22nd.
Is it a pop-up? It's been that in the past.
What do you mean a pop-up?
Like a pop-up tent they'll put up in a parking lot somewhere.
So yeah, it's at the Greater.
Yeah.
It's at Oaks. So
it's at Oaks, okay.
Yeah, you know that parking lot
Yeah,
they built over there. I think they built it.
Yeah.
Originally for when Cirque du
I
Soleil
think you're
came by
right.
here.
And they've
years
used it for everything like that Christmas light display,
Yes.
Kathy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We all went to a circus, not a Cirque Day, but a circus
Yeah.
there.
What was that?
Didn't you? You got called up onto the.
I did. Oh my
yes.
God, I had forgotten that until right now. Yeah, I was a part of the act at one point.
Yeah.
When was this?
You were at it too, Kath.
Yeah, it was pre-pandemic. So
Were you
but
in
Ben
that
and
motorcycle
Andrea were
thing?
there with me, and yeah, Steve, like there was some juggling act or whatever, and they picked me out of the crowd, or somebody had me set up so that I was picked out of the crowd. But it was fun, you know, and it was at that location right near where we're gonna have the blood drive next Friday.
Yes.
So tickets go on sale. This says tickets are on sale now.
Oh my God.
At CirqueDuSoleil.com. So you can get those now if you want to.
I might take that offer up. Me going and purchasing tickets. But no, it's going to be cool. I honestly, you resist these things, you're like, and then you finally see them, completely turn my perception around. They really are amazing.
Before we fully wrap, Nick, you wanted to mention the Greg Murphy charity drive.
Thank you, Preston.
Yes.
Greg Murphy, our buddy from the Phillies, he was nominated for this thing that I was lucky enough to win last year. Cindy Webster won Woman of the Year, I won Man of the Year, and Greg Murphy's been nominated for the same award. They just changed the name this year. It's LLS, Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Visionary of the Year. Today's the last day for fundraising. So LLS is a great organization. The gala is tonight. Nobody knows who wins until the end of the gala. So I'm rooting for Greg. I've supported him for the past couple of months. And the link is right on PrestonandSteve.com. So you can go. You can support him by making a donation, $5, $10, $1,000, whatever you want to do. All donations are accepted. But the gala is tonight. So we'll know tomorrow whether or not Greg won. But Greg is such a great guy. He's been dealing with his own battle over the last couple of years. He's been quiet about it. But now he's doing the right thing and raising a lot of money. So we're rooting for him, and we hope he does well tonight.
He's awesome. We love Greg. All right, let's take a break. Come back in a second. We'll get to the bizarre file. We also have an announcement, a concert announcement coming up too. So stay put. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR. WMMR presents Live Lead for President.
But I mean, some of them kind of don't want to talk about it or something. Have you ever found that? Where you kind of,
you get that.
And someone's just kind of went, yeah, whatever.
Well, and it's confusing.
To it.
It is confusing when that happens.
Well, we've talked about this, Jimmy. It's sort of a liability when you meet people who've meant a lot to you. You know, and then we use the phrase "they were them." They were exactly who you wanted them to be. Yeah. And it's like the ultimate when you get the person you hope they would be. Not everyone can be that, or some people, sort of have sort of a jaded view, or they'll kind of frown upon what got them to the dance.
Or they're self-conscious or something.
Right, and for whatever reason, and you'd almost rather keep the illusion than the actual reality. But when they do sync up and you get both, it's fantastic.
Well, I can talk about both for a minute, because as some of you might know, I was married to Chrissy Hines.
Yes,
Chrissy's the greatest. I mean, she's just the greatest.
Well, I'll Stand By You that's my wife. That's our wedding song. Yeah.
You guys now share a grandchild together.
We do indeed.
Yeah. Congratulations.
And yet Chrissy, she would be the first to say when anyone goes up to her in the street and goes, "Wow, Chrissy, she kind of goes right in her shell, and she kind of doesn't know what to say, and it comes across as being cold, and then she will regret that for the rest of the week. Genuinely, she'll say, "Oh, I met that person," and they must think, well, I won't tell you what she says, but she doesn't mean it. Like, she just gets kind of, whereas Charlie Burchill, my songwriting partner and guitar player in Simple Minds, we were beyond fortunate last week in New York because we had a night off, and I'm sure you're aware Springsteen was playing on Broadway, and
so cool.
Just to get tickets to see the show was enough to be 20 yards from him, where he's standing with an acoustic playing Born to Run, and the spit was almost touching us. In fact, we were running towards it. And then afterwards, we didn't know this. Afterwards, as we were about to leave, someone came out and said, John Landau, as Bruce's manager, would let you go back. And I'm sure no one will be surprised to hear me say that, Bruce was just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he just wanted to talk about music, and he wanted to talk about a book that he'd written, of which the show is based on, of which we've all read. And it was great to have someone as comfortable.
You love that. Did he relay any particular level of was he citing some of your work, or because he clearly, you?
Well, he's so generous. We had played in New Jersey the night before.
Okay.
I think John had told him that, and we played, so we're in his hood, and he had just spent time on stage saying how he had a love-hate with New Jersey, because all he wanted to do was get out of there, hence Born to Run and all that. But of course he's still there, but he knew we'd played, and he was asking about the band and all that stuff. We have a few friends in common. Steve Van Zandt, we did a lot of things with Steve back in the day.
And the Sun City,
the Sun City thing, and also Jimmy Iovine, who produced Born to Run. He just produced a track that you played there, Alive and Kicking, and so we'd met Bruce before as well. So
I think, and it's the truth, that the people who, I love when film directors come in here and they're fans of other directors, because you clearly you just at a core have a passion for music.
That's right.
So you are a fan of other musicians. Yeah. And I think that informs your ability to be a great musician, you know?
I would think so. I would think, I think if you're in love with something, it must be... Listen, if you've got a job that you love, no matter what that job is, you've won the lotto, because we know what it's like if you don't like your job.
Yes.
So if you're passionate about it, I mean, even today we're going to go along to the theatre 4:30 this afternoon. We're going to work on other stuff, try, songs that we want to bring into the set as the tour progresses.
That's great.
We're always chopping and changing. I'm excited about that, and it's only a sound check.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about, Jim, yours and Simple Minds' history in Philadelphia. You played Live Aid here. From what I understand, you were the first band that was approached to play the Philadelphia show?
Well, certainly I remember getting the call from Geldof at the time, and it was amazing. It was a great honour to be asked. And, of course... although obviously we're from the other side of the pond, at the time the song that you mentioned, Don't You Forget About Me, was really climbing high in the Billboard charts, and Bob said, you got to do it in Philadelphia. We were only too happy. We were en route anyway to come here and record. But I don't think any of us were aware that all these years later that, in terms of rock and roll anyway, it's still the historical event is our generation's Woodstock. Joan Baez, I think, alluded to that when she opened. That was her. But when you see now, even now when I see the numbers that were there in the stadium's not longer, no longer there. Yeah.
Was that day fairly chaotic?
And in the way you would expect. I mean, I was talking outside. I mean, everyone was there. I mean, it was a whole. The great thing was, I brought across my dad.
Oh wow!
He'd never been in the States before. And he was wearing a bright yellow Scotland T-shirt. So I thought, how can you lose him? He's wearing a bright yellow. They said, how can you lose him? 120,000 people out there. But I saw him because he was wearing this.
The bright yellow Scotland T-shirt,
And he said to me, come here, I want to introduce you to this guy. I want to introduce you. Who's here? Now you think, Madonna was there and Tina Turner and Mick Jagger and all that. And we went round. And there was this guy sitting on his amplifier, just strumming away. Total dignity. Bo Diddley.
Ah, Bo Diddley.
And my dad said to me, Bo Diddley, if it wasn't for him, there would be no Live Aid.
Legendary,
there would be no rock and roll. If it wasn't for these guys. And of course, he was right. So, memories like that come to the forefront. Special.
You mentioned Jimmy Iovine, and I saw the special on HBO about him, The Defiant Ones, and he talked about producing Born to Run and how frustrating it was because Bruce was such a perfectionist when it came to putting that record. And eventually somebody had to tell Jimmy, it's not your record, Jimmy, it's Bruce's. Let Bruce do what he needs to do. What was it like for you guys working with him?
I mean, we've been so lucky. We worked with Jimmy, Bob Clearmountain, Trevor Horn, Steve Lillywhite, all these people. But Jimmy just had this way. It's funny because I can tell the jury was out. Some of the people around us didn't quite get Jimmy.
Really?
Because Jimmy was more a kind of ringmaster. He couldn't go in and tell you technically what was wrong or what was right. It was all feel. And he had a great kind of meter on him with that. That feels great. That's where you should be. But he made you feel great. And if you felt great, then you're going to perform. He gave you confidence. And I, in some ways, we've never met anyone like Jimmy in that sense. He would be, you know how in sports you get a coach, I say this, that make journeymen believe they're much better than they are.
Right.
Jimmy did that to us.
It would seem like some producers are more musicians and some guys are more directors. And when it comes to instructing a band, and he seems like more the director kind.
I'll tell you a funny story about it, and this is the way he is too, because Alive and Kicking, we put together the demo. See, we were all a bit weirded out with the success of Don't You Forget About Me, because it become this kind of colossal thing, the movie and MTV, and everyone was all over it.
It was just a confluence of things going on. Yeah.
And Jimmy was like, what are you going to do to follow it up? It's a monster. What are you going to do? And we were like, I don't know, relax, we'll come up with something. And so we came up with this, basically the structure for Alive and Kicking. He's like, that's great. Get it down. That's going to be amazing. And we all felt that. But I had done a guide vocal, kind of sketch lyrics.
Yeah.
That I meant to come back and finish off. And the first line, and it's, you turn me on. So I go to do it for real. And I change the line to something else. And he goes, hang on a minute. Where's you turn me on? I said, you can't sing with you turn me on. That's terrible. That's garbage. You turn me on. I won't be able to go home to Glasgow if I sing that. People will just rip the out of me. And he went, you're going to change that? And I said, yeah. And he went, my wife loves it. All Vicky's friends love it. Everyone loves it. You can't change it. I said, I'm changing it. And he starts taking out his car keys in his house. He says, here, take them because I'm going to lose my house. Here, you're going to cost me a fortune. You're going to cost me a fortune. You're going to cost. And he was kind of half serious.
Yeah.
So it stayed.
Hey, listen.
And it kind of works.
It works. It works.
It works as long as I don't think about it.
But it's funny because you as the artist are going to be hypercritical, and it's something that we have to think about, even on our level of just doing what we do.
Yeah.
Like program directors or whatever, listen with different ears.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing, I think, and probably what distinguishes a good producer who is able to produce hits, listens as the consumer hears it.
Yeah. Well, in my head, if you're Marvin Gaye, you can sing You Turn Me On. Right. If you're some little white nerdy guy from Glasgow with freckles gone, You Turn Me On. It's creepy. But not according to Jimmy.
You were a tad bit nerdy, Jim.
A bit nerdy, yeah.
But that's why Chrissy Hines seems like when you guys got together, I remember thinking, wow, she's like the leather rock chick, and this guy, that's kind of wild.
Bit off a bit more than I could chew. But you got to give me kudos for
thumbs up
for daring to dance.
yes, absolutely. Jim, it's an honor to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, all of you.
Our pleasure.
Jim Kerr, guys. On the Preston and Steve Show.
The only raccoons they like food.
Okay.
So it doesn't,
doesn't matter.
I had them eating goldfish crackers out of my hand.
That's right.
Remember, Robbie?
Wait, you fed him out of your hand?
I told you this story many times.
We heard this story thousands of times.
Yeah, but hang on. Was it while he was in a trap?
No.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was not.
Didn't you? We were playing golf one time.
That was during the day.
And we saw
that was
one,
a mangy-looking thing.
Dude, don't go near that thing.
Yes.
And here you are feeding this one by hand.
Well,
hypocrite.
That time, Preston, I was dead sober. B, it was a mangy-looking thing, and C, it was in the middle of the day.
Okay.
When I had this thing eating out of my hand, I had just gotten back from a wedding. It was late at night. I went outside.
You were feeling good.
Yeah, and we had developed it was a quick bond.
You had an understanding.
How was the wedding?
Yeah. I was like, man, it was a really good time. Do you want some goldfish?
Do I know them? Is his family or is his friends?
No, you don't know them.
I have to say I'm a little peckish. I'd love to talk to you, but I'm not thinking straight.
Hang on.
Can you hook me up?
Yeah, I got some goldfish. You want some goldfish?
Oh, bingo.
Okay, hang on a
Love
second.
it. Yeah, you go get those and I'll find us a place to sit.
Comes back, he's smoking a cigarette.
Hey.
God, look at that sky.
What did I tell you?
Never leaving Delco.
Those things are going to kill you.
I know. It's my one thing, though,
Gotta have a vice.
Gotta have a vice. I don't drink. But this, taking a cool drag on a night like that. It's just everything. Just everything to this little raccoon.
Yeah.
Smoking raccoon.
From Touchstone Pictures, the story of a friendship, an interspecies friendship. Me, the raccoon in me.
The raccoon in me.
Raccoon.
Oh, my.
Starring Casey.
Oh, dear Lord. All right. Let me go to Chico real quick. Hey, Chico, you're on the air. Good morning.
What's the deal, bitches?
Yo, buddy. All right, you have an interesting story. Do tell.
Oh, man. Interesting story ain't the word. When I was younger, I had a girlfriend, and her dad was a prize coon hunting dog kennel. He had a kennel that they would raise coon hunting dogs.
Yeah.
And they came across one that had some babies.
Do the B file. I have a butt plug to pass along, and I got this email from Beth Venza Haley, who is the fundraising assistant for the Indian Creek Foundation, and wanted me to mention this. I think I mentioned this last year, but the Indian Creek Foundation's 32nd annual Roll, Stroll, and Run is taking place on Saturday, June 17th in Souderton, Pennsylvania. It's a ride, walk, race event. And they have courses of 62, 40, 20, and 10 miles. So that's for the ride, obviously. But you can do a 62-mile ride.
Nice.
And walkers can enjoy a leisurely stroll on their 1 and 5K routes. They also have a timed 5K for competition. And then there's a picnic buffet, beer garden, music, and a bunch of other activities. And the Indian Creek Foundation, I love this. They're a nonprofit organization, and they provide services for 1,300 children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities and autism each year. And they have day services, behavioral health services. They do 24 residential homes for individuals with varying degrees of intellectual development disabilities. So important. So you can go to rollandstroll.com to get the information. That's coming up on the 17th, so I wanted to pass that along. It's a really cool event. All right, we have bizarre file stories to share, so let's share them.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by PGW. You can improve the comfort of your home and lower energy bills with a PGW Energy Sense rebate up to $1,400 in savings with new home heating equipment. And you can learn more at pgwenergysense.com. An Illinois exercise enthusiast was literally caught with her pants down after she took a tumble on the gym treadmill and
great.
ended up with her leggings being sucked into the machine.
Like ripped off of her.
Yeah.
And her hiney just hanging out.
Footage from the pratfall is currently blowing up on the woman's Instagram page. Her name is Alyssa Conkle, and she said, I was just running at the gym and my pants got sucked off.
I mean, it's
she
hilarious
tripped
footage.
She tripped and fell.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she I guess had it on too fast
Well-
or whatever happened. And so when she fell, she was trying to hold on, and then that's when they get sucked up.
She wasn't wearing the clip. You can clip on the device that'll, when you fall,
Like a dead man
will pull
switch.
it out. Exactly.
She had reportedly set the machine to level 10, which she admitted was very fast. Nonetheless, she never expected her exercise sesh to end so catastrophically. The accompanying footage starts off typically enough where she is the gym bunny clad in hot pink tank top and leggings, sprinting at the breakneck pace on a workout machine. We're watching the video right now.
It's great.
All of a sudden, she trips, falls to her knees in the still running conveyor belt, and she is initially able to stop herself from flying off by grabbing onto the treadmill's handles. And unfortunately, the force of the conveyor belt on her knees proves too great. The treadmill ends up pulling her leggings down.
Had she let go, she would have just flown off.
She would have flown. She was
Yeah.
probably trying to save herself
Right.
from that. But in one of the angles that I watched, you can see another girl get off of the treadmill and almost like run over to help
Yeah,
her. And then
yes.
once her pants get ripped off, she turns around and walks away like, oh God, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, the clip concludes with a mortified woman getting back to her feet as a fellow gym goer rushes to her aid, and the Samaritan backs off, presumably because she wanted to give Conkle the privacy after being pantsed by the machine. She said, I hurt myself. My face, lip, knees, and shins are skinned. And she said she was so embarrassed she had to leave immediately.
Oh, immediate.
Yeah.
I don't think I would return.
The one silver lining of the facility was not very busy, and the person in the video who
We
approached,
still saw your ass, ma'am.
approached her afterward asked if she was okay. It's funny as hell.
You got to like embrace it though. Like if
Yeah.
that happens to you, post the video yourself and just be like, yep,
There's
that's
a
me.
great collection of videos on social media where it's someone walking into the gym after not being there for a while, and they walk in, and then what they do is they cut together all these clips of people using the equipment wrong, flying off treadmills, and the person just turns around and leaves.
You know who's good at that, who will post her own videos and say, this is me and I made a mistake, is Alex Holly. Like all her mishaps on air, she posts them and she's like, oh, here I am.
Yep. All right, a nurse and nature lover in Canada reportedly captured footage of what she said appeared to be two witches holding a carcass eating ritual.
Man.
With a camera she set up near her home.
You ever have to scare them off your property, the witches, when they start eating carcasses?
Karina Stanhope said, I don't know what the heck was up with that. She lives in Powell River, British Columbia. She said, it really freaked us out. It's not something you see every day. After coming across a deer carcass in a garden on her property, Stanhope said that she set up the camera to surveil any animals that might take interest in the dead deer. She said, me and my grandpa put up a trail camera to see if we could see animals. And we got a bobcat on camera, which was pretty cool. And she added her 76-year-old grandfather, Bob, was horrified when he checked the footage and saw what appeared to be scantily clad women chomping down on the carcass at night. She said, I came in the next day. Grandpa said that he'd got naked people on the camera. And I said, no, you didn't. So he showed me. Stanhope noted that the outlet that the apparent carcass eaters emerged about 10 minutes after sunset, looking disheveled, and they were wearing wigs. You can't really tell from the photo, she said, but the hoof was brought right up to her mouth. She said, I don't know if she was kissing it, smelling it, or eating it, but to touch a decaying carcass like that makes me feel sick. The amount of bacteria that must be on there. Maybe they were paying their respects, but they were naked, she said.
Whatever it was freaky.
Stanhope noted that she was creeped out because the incident took place just a 2-minute walk from her house. And
Hey, you naked witches out there, stop eating that.
She feared for the safety of her horses. She said, I was concerned about them messing with my horses at night. The horses always get really spooked and unnerved around that area. I thought they imagined stuff at first, and I didn't think anything of it, but maybe I believe them now. So she's hoping that it was a prank or that the participant were on, quote, some good drugs. But she decided against contacting the police after her grandfather noted that nothing technically illegal happened. So
yeah, I'm thinking drugs.
Some people think that it may have been a prank or speculated it was a satanic or other paranormal element at work. Some people think that it was a Wendigo. Which is a malevolent supernatural entity associated with Native American folklore.
All right, I'm going with that now.
More than a dozen people, many of them children, you may have seen this yesterday, had to be rescued from a carnival ride in Newcastle County, Delaware.
Yes, yeah.
It happened around 9:30 p.m. Tuesday at the St. John the Beloved Catholic Church Carnival in Milltown. Officials said the zipper ride malfunctioned, leaving 14 people stuck inside its cages.
Oh, man. So the zipper was the one that always scared me as a kid because I had heard... because I'm gay.
Yeah.
No, because I had heard the rumor was that a girl got her hair caught in it. Remember that?
Yes. There was also one the like free fall drop at Six Flags Great Adventure. That was also the rumor on that one.
Every small fair, every carnival has that legend of the scalped kid.
Yes. So anyhow, one person was hospitalized with minor injuries. The other 13 were checked out at the scene. To complicate rescue efforts, a heavy rainstorm moved in during the operation. One last story, and then we will wrap it up. Yeah, I got this sent to me by a number of people. A 60-year-old American driver was arrested last week after he took a wrong turn and ended up at the Canadian border with a huge quantity of cannabis and over $600,000 in cash in his car. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police said in a news release that Andrew Lee Toppenberg was following GPS coordinates that were entered incorrectly.
Anything to declare?
When he mistakenly ended up in the border lineup at Canada's Rainbow Bridge border crossing in Niagara Falls, Ontario. And he did not have his passport with him, and that apparently results in being subject to an inspection if you don't have your passport.
So if you get into a line like that, can you get out of the line? Because I'm sure people accidentally pull into the line.
I don't know.
But you raise suspicion, right?
It might depend on how far into it you were. Maybe there was no place for him to turn around,
Yeah.
During the inspection, Canadian border officials found 399 pounds of cannabis, which police said is valued about $270,000 to $500,000. They also found over $600,000 in the vehicle as well.
It's over $1 million of stuff there.
The drugs and money were located throughout the car with the cannabis in vacuum-packed containers and the cash separated into bundles that were concealed in a safe suitcase and lockable case.
Just going to Tim Hortons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this guy was obviously busted, and they had to take him into custody. And it was because he entered the wrong GPS coordinates. And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you. We have a concert announcement.
Hey!
Yes, we do. Just talking about this band the other day. MMR announces Tuesday, August 29th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion, a Nickelback. Yep. Tom Papa is going to be joining us around 9 o'clock, so hang out. We'll be back in a little bit.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
As a pet, and
what kind of pet was it, Chico? Was it good and or was it a handful?
oh, it was a handful. I mean, it was cool when it was little, and like their hands feel funny, like leathery, and, and they would do little things. But she called it. His name was Snickers.
Snickers.
It loves Snicker bars.
Oh,
Snicker bars.
Okay.
And then what the problem what happened was
Love the Snickers.
Yeah, you can bring me my Snickers.
Hey, Chico, hook a brother up with some Snickers.
Yeah, hey Chico, bring me a Snickers.
Chico, over there by the TV, there's a bag full of Snickers. Why don't you sashay over one with two?
What's happening?
Where are my cigarettes?
After my little doobie.
To feel my nice leathery hand.
Yeah, I know. I'll use moisturizer.
When it was little, it would crawl around her shoulders and like hang out in her hair and do all this crazy stuff. But as it got older, it just started doing what it wanted to do. And
it's a wild animal. It's a teenager. You know how teenagers can be.
Yeah. Did you ever? So everyone here was kind of thinking. Did you ever look at its human-like hands and look at your junk and think,
looks huge in that?
Nah, they got some sharp nails, man. That thing.
Oh yeah. True.
I can clip them, dude.
Yeah.
Just depends on how many Snickers you're ready to give me.
Yes.
You give me a fun-sized bag of Snickers, I'll bring you all the way to the end, if you know what I'm saying. Leather hands and no leather hands.
Nails or not.
Steve, you got issues, bro.
Thank you, Chico.
You got issues. Chico just called you out.
Chico bailed on his story. Snicker. Please welcome Mr. Peter Hedges.
Thank you.
To our program. Nice to see you, Peter.
Nice to be here.
So you're a ukulele player, huh?
I am. I really rip it up.
you tear up the ukulele. Now, do you say ukulele or ukulele? Because we know that the proper.
I'm just cool.
Peter was off air in case it was chit chat with him.
My wife is like, "Really? This is the instrument you chose to pick up? Do you really want to get laid? Because it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Like, nobody wants to.
Yeah, you don't ever see somebody like Pete Townsend.
No.
It just
and I know
happen.
4 chords, but I can play most songs.
I will tell you this: just as there are gateway drugs, I think this is a gateway to an actual guitar. You know,
that's the way it's worked.
Preston has started with an ukulele and is now learning guitar.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then I feel hopeful. But after hearing Barnes, I think maybe I'll just let him play because that was awesome.
He was fantastic, wasn't he?
Let me ask you something as a director and a writer and a creator of things like that. Music is obviously an essential part of the way the mood is set in a film. And you're always looking for new things.
Super important.
Yeah.
Over the years, I've gotten to work with Stephen Merritt and the Magnetic Fields. They scored my film Pieces of April.
Yeah.
The great Norwegian singer-songwriter Sondre Lerche scored Dan in Real Life. He was 23 when he did the score.
Wow.
Glenn Hansard and Marquetta wrote a song for my film The Odd Life of Timothy Green. Music is everything. I write to music. I listen to music all the time.
You know, Stephen King writes to AC/DC all the time.
Yeah, I should probably try AC/DC because I'd have a nicer house. But music it's so inspiring. I mean, hearing it just makes you feel so glad to be alive.
Yeah. I love your work. I love your from the writing to the directing. And I think what you do is particularly difficult in that, in the kind of drama and the kind of stuff that you write, you're going down a line where you a little bit to the left and it's treacly, and then a little bit to the right it's too self-aware. You've got it. It really, I think, of all these genres of film, it's the one that requires you to be as spot on as you can be. Am I correct in saying that?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's so tricky, but if you're trying to articulate the human condition, I mean, we're living in such a wacky time, and I try to put these broken people on screen that are trying their best to do the right thing.
So in Ben is Back, which we're blown away by the trailer. It happens. It's coming at a time. It deals with a young man battling an addiction issue, and returning home to his family takes place on the holiday, Christmas, and in one day, I believe, right?
That's right.
And so it's, I mean, we hear stories constantly, and it's, we have advertisers that, treatment centers and things of that nature. It's a critical mass problem. And actually, within my own family, I see, an extended family, I see people dealing with this. You have the dynamic of the family, and you have the Julia Roberts as the mom who wants to do everything they can without enabling, but yet making sure that there's a voice of reason, and every dynamic is in play at the same time. And I would imagine as a parent, I don't have kids, but they all do. You're just a spinning compass. I don't know what you fix on to help somebody you dearly love and don't know what to do.
Right. That's something that tons of people are facing right now. And Julia does this amazing job in the film. She just goes everywhere and anywhere on behalf of her kid. And that's my experience with most parents.
Yeah.
They'll do anything they can to help their kid. And it's just a question of how do you help? What's the loving thing to do? How do you help someone who is, addiction's a disease.
Yeah.
And how do you help treat it?
In my own family, in the situation that I've seen, many different things have been tried. Is this the way to go? Is this the way to go? Right. Is this the way to go? The love never wanes, but it's like at what point you have to the person has to assess. Am I killing myself in pursuit of this? Right. And what about the people who aren't addicted? Are they suffering as a result?
Right.
It's an amazing thing to deal with, and I think even more difficult for you as the writer director to do the just thing when dealing with it.
Well, true, but I wanted to put a story out that shone a light, if you will, on how all the angles, all the points of view,
sure,
and to try to expand compassion that people might have for people who are going through this.
Right.
And sometimes you can't imagine how hard it is.
Yeah.
Oddly, though, there's incredible amounts of humor in the film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love. There are these kind of surprising moments of joy.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of heartbreak and
like life.
agony. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you're the guy to pull it off. I mean, because About a Boy does that so wonderfully. There's heartbreak, there's hope, there's a lot of humor in it as well. In fact, it's hard to categorize that movie. There's so many funny moments in it that it's hard to categorize that as a drama as well. Just to point out, I mean, like, how did you have the idea of Will going to a women's support group to pick up women? Had you heard of someone?
No, that's the genius of the great Nick Hornby, who wrote the novel.
Right.
Oh, okay. You did the screenplay. That is correct.
No.
Yeah.
But Nick wrote this amazing novel, and they called me and said, "Do you want to adapt this?" And I said, "I don't want to do. I want to do my own work."
Sure.
And then I said, well, finally, they called a few times. I said, "Well, what's the book about?" And they said, "Well, it's about this single guy who goes to," and I said, "Oh, you've got to send it to me right away."
Yeah.
Nice. And it's one of those books I read. I went, "Oh my! I wish I'd written it." And so all I tried to do was be help move it. And then the Whites brothers came in and did their beautiful, beautiful film of it, and took what I did and improved it, I think, massively. So. But I got to swim around in that story, and I just tried to serve it, which is what you try to do when you're working on anything like that. It's just to be helpful.
Your mother's a psychotherapist?
She was.
She was a psychotherapist, and your dad was
an Episcopal priest. Yeah.
So I think your empathetic ability to tie into things that at least resonate.
Right. I was groomed.
Yeah. You had a good
cry. That's what I was basically.
Right.
Raised to be that guy who got beat up and was like, I love everybody. I'm a vegetarian.
Here's a ukulele.
Yeah, here's the ukulele. You can see that there's a real motif here.
Were you a sensitive ponytail guy at any point?
I never a ponytail. I did have a kind of a Mick Jagger moment where my hair was long, but I didn't have any of Mick's swagger. I was too sweet. I was the nice guy.
Well, we love your work, really.
Thank you. What a pleasure to have long and robust conversations about me.
About that. You love me. You really love me.
And now I'm going to sing. Let's go to commercial.
Well, we brought up some ukulele music for you here.
Oh, great.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, my wife's getting ready with the nightgown. We're going to have some fun.
She gets so turned on.
Oh, it's so over.
Oh, this is great. Is final
This is
countdown?
the final countdown on ukulele. I don't know why there's a piano part in the beginning here.
I like the piano, though.
It is kind of fun, though. I don't know when it's going to kick in here at any point. But listen,
You're killing me.
I will remind people that
I'm going home.
this could be part of the soundtrack.
Yeah,
for
there you
Ben is
go.
Back. It's going to be the closing credits song. Oh, there's a kazoo, too.
Thanks so much.
Here we go. All right, so anyhow. Oh, you want me to keep going?
There you go.
All right, so in theaters.
Oh, no! No!
Peter did it! He just told us to F off.
Oh, God, how much did that cost me? Oh, my God.
No, we're good. We got it.
I caught it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You raised the double birds. I'm the son of a minister.
Oh, this has been a great day.
Oh, my God.
There we go.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ben is Back is in theaters December 21st. Says Peter Hedges. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Steve sent over a link. It is from Cosmopolitan magazine. Cosmo
is my my magazine.
That's your jam?
Yeah,
You're a
it's
Cosmo
how
reader?
it helps me pick my outfits on a daily basis.
And
I'm a Cosmo girl.
the article is titled 65 Fun and Cheap Dates That'll Put Dinner and a Movie to Shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We don't have to spend anything. Let's just stay here.
So do you want me to go through a few of these?
Some are actually
Some are okay.
some are okay.
Some are silly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
I mean, there's 65 of them. They had to fill up a lot. Fun, cheap date ideas to put dinner and a movie to shame.
yeah. Sometimes it won't put movie and a dinner to shame. But let's go through it. Let's see what we got.
Go to an open house.
I love this. I do that. Do you do this?
We can date, Steve.
Yeah, we could. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, that's fun, and you get to see what people live like and what they have in their medicine cabinets.
I am nosy as F when it, like at night when I walk around and people's houses are lit up. I'm looking in windows.
Right.
I'm going inside.
Nick, what kind of panties they have?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
What's under the bed?
Go to a coffee shop and read together.
No,
that's
I'm out.
ridiculous.
These are the worst suggestions I've ever heard.
You do,
First two were
Kathy. You do
okay.
every one of these.
Go to an open house?
Yeah, that's your
What?
thing.
Loser.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to a coffee shop and read together.
Look at this. Look at this picture. So they have them reading together. Do me a favor. If you see me doing that with my wife, come up behind us and put 2 bullets in our head.
What we're looking at is 2 people reading the same book at the same time.
Are you done with this page yet? I finished ahead of you. Let's go home and bake.
That would end in a fight.
Yes, it would.
Hey, Stevie Wonder, why don't you take a crack at speeding it up a bit?
Go to a dog park together. It says yes, even if you don't have a dog.
That's crazy.
Listen, the other folks wanted me to come over and ask, what are you doing?
A reminder, Woodbury Junior Senior High School, you guys get to vote. The final one of the year, coolest teacher. Text word teacher 39333. And Marissa told me that they have a special phrase, or what is it, their theme, Marissa?
Good morning, it?
Nope.
Yes, dug up their Twitter account and they're called The Woo.
The Woo. Woo. All right. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Little nickname for them. All right. The Woo. You guys get to vote. So text word teacher 39333. And tomorrow morning we'll find out who that is. Also a reminder, tomorrow we're a week away from the blood drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're looking for, we never set amounts, but we're doing it this time, right?
We want to break 1,000.
Yeah.
We want to break 1,000 units and get back to our, a few pre-COVID years where we were breaking 1,000 every single time. So let's make that happen and have you sign up. And you can go to WMMR.com and go through all the process of getting yourself ready for that. And we have 2 different locations for you to choose from. You can either be in Oaks or you can be in the sports complex at Live Casino. And various staff members broadcasting live from each of those. We'll be at Oaks broadcasting our show live on Friday morning, a week from tomorrow. So sign up and help out. We really, really would appreciate it if you could do that. So please. And it's rapidly approaching, so you can take care of that this morning. It would be wonderful. I've some notes jotted down here of things to talk about. I have a Casey story, a Kathy story, and a Nick story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is it like getting to know the family?
It's getting to know you. Getting to know all about you. What is that from? The King and I.
Yes.
That's right. Yes. All right. So.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera. Let's go with Casey's story first, because this is something we might have to we might have to find out about for sure.
There's a couple of things that we're getting a list of things and stunts to perform outside, and this definitely falls in that realm.
Yeah. And I'll try to make this setup as short as possible. I was told I wouldn't be able to do something that I think I can do.
Okay. I like that.
So I've been watching. I was at my daughter's track meets over the last month or so. And so this is like 5th to 8th graders.
Right.
And my daughter actually, she throws shot put. And then my friend's son is a 6th grader, and he throws a shot put, and he threw 38. 38 feet, pretty good for a 6th grader back in the championships on Saturday. And I was like, I think I could do that. And my friend's father said, I don't think you could even throw it 30 feet.
Wow.
That an adult man your size could not throw the shot put 30 feet. I did a little investigating on this.
Okay.
And for an adult male, it says here 60 feet is a heck of a throw, but 55 feet is a nice throw, which suggests that something like 50 feet is about an average throw. So I think you could do this.
Yeah. Now, question. Would it weigh the same as the one as the 6th graders?
Well, he said I would have to throw an 8-pound shot put. And I think he might be throwing a 6-pounder. I'm not really sure exactly. But I was like, yeah, I could do that.
Well, okay. Yeah. These are based on adult. So this would probably the 8-pound shot put.
So the world record, Steve, I just looked up, is about 77 feet.
All right.
And you said 60 feet. It's a great throw for an adult male.
55, pretty good. So I'm figuring like 50 feet and between 40 and 50 feet is probably respectable.
I think you can do it.
I think so too.
He said
we need to bury this punk.
Yeah. No. I love this guy, Kev. I love you. He said I have no respect for the sport. By saying that I could throw it.
What? No, it's you I don't have respect.
No, I have.
You're the one.
I love Kevin.
I'm sorry, I'm getting angry at this guy. Where does he live?
I don't know. I'm not doing this to be on the opposite side, but I don't think you can do it.
30 feet.
Oh well,
30 feet's 10 yards, man. That's nothing.
I thought we were talking 50.
No. So
They
his son threw it 38 feet, and I was like, yeah, I could beat your son easily. He's a 6th grader.
The world record is what I just said, Kathy.
The world. Got it.
Yeah, no, I could
Let's go for that.
I could probably.
I think we could.
That's what I meant. I didn't think you could beat the world record.
Does it have to be lateral, or can it be from an altitude?
All right, I could probably break the U.S. record. I probably could. But the world record is, I think, a lofty goal.
Right, yeah, an American.
Up and down, or
listen. There's also like you can fault, right? So I want to make sure that I'm doing it properly. But I think first try, I could do it without faulting, and I could throw it over 30 feet.
Give me the 6-pound shot put. I'll throw it overhand.
Right. But it was funny because you sit there and you watch these kids, and by the way, I watched the high jump, and I watched this kid just leap over it, like you jump over and you land on your back. Like this dude just jumped over it like he was jumping over a hurdle.
Oh, so didn't do the flip over on the back, just cleared it like he was in a relay.
But when I was watching that, I was like, man, I wonder how. And I didn't have any lofty goals or like, I could beat that. But I would like to try that as well. I'd like to try a high jump.
And so remember, you took a spill and you had a back injury from the Camp Out for Hunger. I think you're more.
No, you're probably right.
I think you may want to skip that, go with the shot. But you could do the uneven parallel bars.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
But I also want to try a javelin.
Now that I'd like to try.
Yeah, I saw a documentary where they had designed the special javelin.
For a special limp-wristed throwing
style. And that thing flew.
By the way, the jump style, Nick just pulled this up on Wikipedia. He doesn't just know this. It's called the Fosbury Flop.
I love that name.
And the guy's name is Dick Fosbury. And I remember reading about this. Like, he was first kind of made fun of for his technique because the old technique was, like you were saying, just to jump right over it or to dive over it, I guess.
Right.
But he found that the way the body is constructed, that going over with your back over it was the most efficient way to jump.
The only other way to do it that is effective is the schnozberry flop.
Okay, so there's no such thing as a schnozberry.
What do those things taste like?
They taste like snozberries.
Snozberries.
Let me ask you then. Have you ever been like a pole vault? Have you ever?
No, but my buddy Steve did. He was a pole vaulter in high school and at Slippery Rock University. He was a pretty decent athlete, but he never beat me in diving. I want to make that clear.
All right.
Steve Woolery never, ever even came close to beating me at diving.
Pole vaulting seems terrifying.
I'm
It really
terrified
does.
of
The
that.
idea of committing to that, of leaning back and bending that pole, well, no way. No way.
Oh, and by the way, at my weight, I would snap that thing in half and end up like right on my neck.
So we're having a strong man at the Mutiny tonight. His name is Todd Jones. I was talking to him about this thing, Preston, about those things, like those
the hammer throw.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said, and another strong man that I talked to said the same thing. It is, they have that little disconnect on that gives the follow through. Any bit of hesitation, I think, in the pole vault or anything like that, it's the classic footage at the beginning of the Wide World of Sports.
Yes.
With the pommel horse. That second hesitation can screw you up.
By the way, who's that? There's a girl that made a sensation a few years ago. She was the hot pole vaulter.
This might be her.
No, it's not her. She's a brunette, and she's stunningly beautiful. All right, anyway.
That Michelle Janicki always got me.
Yes, I agree.
Is it Tory Black? She likes to ride the pole.
She's I know she's a porn star. I'm going to go to Ron real quick, who wants to comment on the shot put. Hi, Ron. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. What's up, buddy?
Just wanted to set a few things straight here with the shot put. So, in grade school, a boy's weight for a shot put is 8 pounds. As you get into high school, it's 12, and as you get beyond high school, it's 16. So that 16-pound weight for the world record, I mean, that's pretty substantial. There are some huge, incredible athletes that are hitting the 70s after high school. Those Olympic athletes are unbelievable.
So 16 pounds, over 70 feet. That's pretty astonishing. Obviously, there is that technique that we're familiar with, where you tuck the ball, sort of under your chin, and then you launch it that way. That is the accepted methodology. And then we're watching somebody do it, and they twirl around. Yeah, the notion of chucking something 16 pounds that distance, is pretty incomprehensible.
Yes,
it is, and there's two accepted techniques, and like Casey was saying, you can fault and all that and fail, but you're essentially pushing it with momentum. You're not throwing it at all. You're pushing it, and that is unbelievable to do. 77 feet with 16 pounds. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's wild because you're watching kind of hulking people basically pirouette. And
all right.
Amazing.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. All right, by the way, her name is Allison Stoke.
Oh, okay.
This is her.
That's the hot pole vaulter?
She's gorgeous.
And who's the porn star you mentioned before?
Tory Black.
Okay.
Yeah.
What country is Allison from? Is she American?
She's American, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And the other one works at the Gold Nugget in Vegas.
Actually, she's coming to Club Risque.
She'll be there next week.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, well, I ask her about the shot put. All right. Casey, you often win longest drive contests.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if any of your upper body strength would translate to, because you're a strong person, and like I think maybe. No, I mean it. Like I meant, you might have some arm strength and upper body strength that could help you in the shot put.
Nick really likes me.
Yeah. I want to caress you as you're doing it.
All right, that might hinder, but
Can you undo your ponytail first?
I'm going to ask him if he wants to give me a massage.
Maybe take a shower afterwards. We'll see.
All right.
See how the date goes.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know how we ended up here, but I am loving it.
This is going to make the show awkward.
I'm just saying that I believe
our dynamic.
I believe Casey has a chance to do what his friend says he can't do.
I know
Clearly,
he can do it.
I think you can do that.
I don't know.
We can go. Kathy, you want to take Casey on and see?
I don't know.
Delco versus Bucksco shot put.
Well, first of all, I could never do it. My shoulder would explode. No, I'm not saying I could do it. I just don't think Casey can.
Okay.
All right, so she's such a butt.
No,
You're such a butt.
You butt.
You butt.
You butt.
She's got the grin. She knows I can do it.
She said she wasn't trying to be a contrarian.
Yeah.
She just, that's her take.
How old was this kid again?
He was 6, and
he's sixth grade, like 12 or 13, something
How
like
big
that,
was his
yeah.
wheelchair again?
Well, No, he is the tallest like sixth grader I've ever seen in my life. So
Okay,
he is
help.
big for his size.
Certainly. What?
Yeah.
That Allison Stoke, the pole vaulter, is married to Ricky Fowler. I didn't know that.
The golfer.
Yeah.
That's
one of the
hilarious.
greatest golfers in the world. Well, that makes sense.
There you go.
They always get the hot
Well,
gals.
now that I'm hearing
Always
that
get the hot pole vaulters.
I'd like to, because
Wish I had
here's the
a
deal.
hot pole vaulter. No, there's a great hot pole vaulter club on the main line.
They do have weird clubs like that all over the place.
Hot pole vaulter clubs?
Yeah. So now,
why are these women so tall?
Now, because I know I'm going to shatter the record with an 8-pound shot put, now I need a 16-pound shot put just to see what I can do.
Okay, we can do
With, like,
both.
an Olympic.
8 pound and 16 pound, and then your goal would be to get on a plaque in the display case at this school.
That's it.
Right.
That's all I want.
We're gonna try to do this next week.
The goat, yes.
And I think we're gonna have to just
do it in the hallway.
We don't need an actual field, with the circle and everything. We could go
Do it
down to
in
the park right down the street. No, we're not doing it in here.
No, we can do it right out
We can do it here, just towards the
You think
glass,
you do it right out
towards the
front there?
window.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, like in the.
Is there any grassy area here?
Yeah, actually, there is where we shot
Wait
that
a second,
commercial
though.
over there, Casey.
Yeah, there's a grassy area there, grassy area in the front.
No, when I see them doing it, they're kind of doing it in a.
Yeah, there's a circle that you rotate.
What are they on? Is it just
It's
regular?
concrete.
Okay.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Can we find concrete anywhere around here,
It's
Preston?
fine. I used to love going to track and field. But
Yes.
two of my kids did track and field, and I liked the field events. I thought it was kind of fun to watch the shot put.
Because you know what? They're the classic Olympic events.
Yeah.
Those are, and by the way, if you want to be really authentic, do it naked because the original athletes were naked when they did.
Yeah, exactly. I will go hang on to Eric, who's a shot putter in high school. Hey, Eric, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good. What's up, buddy?
Not too much. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to say that I am a first-time listener or first-time caller, very recent listener.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Transplanted from the D.C. area, so, we have, I don't know if you guys know of Elliot in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw him in Chicago when we were getting our Hall
A
of Fame
nice
award.
guy, really
Yeah.
nice guy.
He's fantastic, and when my wife and I moved up here, I still listen to Elliot in the morning, and I was like, there's got to be some kind of show up here that's got to be at least halfway decent.
And you found halfway decent.
Congratulations.
We excel at that.
Stumbled onto you guys, and I actually am pleasantly surprised. You guys are absolutely hilarious.
Thanks, man.
Excellent.
But yeah, and so I did shot put back in high school. I did shot put and discus. I was absolutely crap at discus, but I was pretty good at shot put. I could do about 50. Like I was averaging 55 to 58 feet.
Wow.
At 16 to 17 years old.
And was it a 16-pound shot put?
If I'm not mistaken, it was a 12-pounder. I don't remember. This was back in 06, so this was, centuries ago. If I thought it was a 12-pounder. I could be wrong though.
Okay. Let me ask you on the discus, Eric. There's a bit of the same body mechanic, right? When you're spinning around to get the maximum distance. You said you couldn't do that, but you could do the shot put.
Yeah, so the way I held the discus or the way you hold the discus is, you essentially take a plate and you curl your fingers over the edge of the plate, so you're holding the plate on the outside edge and you have to spin it like that. That's how you're.
Yeah, so it's similar. Yeah. It is cool.
But it's not a push like shot put is. This is
Exactly.
this is
You're
hurling it,
release.
Spinning it. You're not throwing the discus like you would like a frisbee.
Right.
Cool.
And so it was a little more difficult. I couldn't quite get the spin down with the discus as I could with the shot put.
So we should do this out. We should have, Preston, what we should call it the Median Olympics and put it right out here on this stretch of grass right on
in the median in our parking lot. The Median Olympics. Oh my God.
It's basically like a field day for Casey.
All right. Well, what do you, Eric? Not really. You're new to this to our crew here, but do you think Casey could pull off 30 feet with an 8-pound shot put?
With an 8-pounder, is no problem.
All right,
cool.
But he's going to try 16-pounder too.
Yeah,
if we can get a hold of
But
him.
if you guys were to do this on the weekend, I would happily come by and throw a
not.
couple shot put with
Yeah,
you
we
guys, too.
that we can. But it says, and you're new to the area, but you cannot do any Olympic event on the weekend. Is the law in
That's the rule.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Eric. We appreciate you checking in, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right. See you later. Okay. Yeah, I think you have no problem doing this.
Me too.
So I'm going to move on to another event.
All right.
And
it's like the Olympics.
Yeah, it is like the Olympics because it's a swimming event, and Kathy has an interesting story to share.
Trust me,
It's actually a tale of triumph.
it's not Olympic quality, that's for sure. We started a swim team practice this week.
You're on a swim team?
No, Jason.
Oh.
And we started practice, and it was like I just stopped and looked around. Kids were like hanging on the side of the pool. People were coming out crying. Moms were like basically pushing their kids into the pool. Like, nope, you're doing swim team. Like, it looked like half of the kids did not want to be there. And
So these are kids who hear swim, fun, pool, and they don't realize it is push your body to the absolute limit as hard as you can.
Jace kept getting out because you're not really supposed. You're supposed to, train the whole time and do what the coach says. And he kept getting out and coming over to me, and he was like, "This is so hard. This is really hard."
So what are the requirements of? So at that age, what do they have the swim team doing?
How old is he, by the way?
He's 11. It's just our summer swim club team, so it's not. It's a little more relaxed.
Racing?
Oh yeah, they'll do
standard
meets.
racing, right?
They'll do meets and stuff like that, but it's a little more relaxed than if you were to swim, during the year at an aquatics club or for your school or whatever. All of the kids get to race. There's like a varsity and a junior varsity, and if you're JV, anybody, as long as you can get to the other side of the pool, you can be in the race.
So is he being taught different strokes?
Yeah, so
for different folks.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
He's doing all the different strokes. They're teaching them, how to dive off of the starting block and how to do flip turns, and I mean they're getting instruction on how to be a swimmer. But when you get it to swim like that, and for the first time, like when Jace got in the first day of practice, it's difficult. Having not really swam that much over the past couple of months.
People don't realize what a workout it is. It's one of my wife's favorite things to do. That's really the predicate for we finally got a pool because it's her number one favorite exercise is swimming laps. It's a health thing but it's tough.
It's more than just swimming laps too, because they kind of break it up too. It's just swimming laps when you're warming up and you're cooling down, right? Like, okay, do and I don't know at that age, but 20 lap warm up, okay? But when they start doing like sprints and stuff like that, you're like, okay, you got to go. All right, you do a sprint real quick, right? So up and back, and then you get to wait 30 seconds, and then up and back again, 30-second break. Up, and it's like go.
They were doing that yesterday, actually, Case. But the younger kids come in after Jace's group, and you could see them in their little bathing suits with their sad faces, obviously had been crying.
Hate this.
Crying in the car, and the moms literally just pushing them to the edge of the pool, and then trying to run away so that the kids stay and do the swim practice.
Man,
it was really funny.
We're having fun.
Don't you like fun?
Yeah.
Well, and what I keep telling Jace, because he keeps going, this is so difficult, is I'm like, you can take a break. It's okay. The coach isn't going to yell at you because you need to take a break. Do the best that you can do. Do as many laps as you can do at your pace. If someone passes you, who cares?
Yeah.
Just do it at your pace, and that's okay.
I was probably in about 5th grade, and our local YMCA, I had seen they had karate classes, and so I'm like, I want to do this, and so I talked my dad into taking me. And we go to the class, and I'm the youngest person there by and far. I mean, they were all adults in this class, and I'm a kid, and I get in it, and we start training. And we're about a third of the way through, and I'm like, I'm done. This is not,
No, Bruce Lee.
There's none of that. It was push-ups, and it was sit-ups, and it was, just strength training and endurance training. And my dad yelled at me. Oh, my God.
He wants you to follow through.
Yeah.
So we had, at our elementary school, I think it was Aikido, I'm positive it was like a typing teacher teaching Aikido.
It usually is.
Because there was nothing, I thought the same, all right, when do we fight the other dojo?
Yeah.
Steve, what age do you think that was?
Oh, it had to be 5th or 6th.
Okay,
and they're not, and I'm as a moron kid, they're not going to have you doing combat.
All right.
It was all basically, it seemed to me like now looking back like Tai Chi, like
Yes.
that sort of katas.
So my nephew Tommy is about the same age. I think he's in fifth grade. And he is doing 3 separate camps this summer. Science camp, which is cool and fun.
Right.
He's also doing Taekwondo.
There you go.
He's
That's
taking
a
it really
standard.
seriously. The first day he came home from Taekwondo, he asked my sister-in-law if he could put her in a headlock. And she was like, no, Tommy, you can't. That's not.
I'll tell you what, I'll put you in the broom closet.
Right. And the third camp that he's taking this summer, breakdancing.
Ooh.
And I was like,
is that a back?
This kid is living the dream. Yeah,
That's
he's like
awesome.
learning how to pop and lock and everything. I'm so impressed by him.
We had our kids go through some gymnastics programs at a gym that was nearby. It's just to have a summer activity for them to do, and they did it.
Yeah.
And they kind of assess, when they see kids that have a little bit of talent, and then approach you and say, "Hey, we think so and so might be good at this. How about we take this to the next level?"
Sure.
Well, they said that about Carter because he can walk on his hands and he's athletically inclined. And so he's like, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot." And they started putting him through endurance training. Oh my God! Like 2 times. He's like, "Nope, I'm not doing that."
That's a lot.
Not doing that, because that's when they start working you hard.
Do you know, for all the time, they always came after me for football. All the time that I was in school, and I told you the story. There was a social studies teacher. I hated his guts, and he was the coach of all the time. I think he even was in junior high. Anyway, I hated his guts. But I look back, I think I would have had fun.
Yeah.
I mean, your life takes a path that it's supposed to take.
Yeah.
But I kind of regret that I didn't, at least
try it out.
Yeah.
It may have been a passion for you. You never know.
Right.
Yeah, but if you didn't like it at that point in your life,
I know.
it wasn't for you.
Yeah.
But what if he excelled at it and all of a sudden it was like, wow.
Could have been in the NFL.
But I mean, yeah, so that's why it's a good idea to at least sample something and give it a shot. You might really find something you weren't interested in at all. Turns out to be a thing you love.
So my older brother played football before me, and so I wanted to play football with him. And but he was a couple of years older than me. So then I ended up playing football with all these kids that were 2 years older than me. And I think I made it through a couple of practices.
Were they grinding you up?
Dude, Steve, at one point, and I wish I could remember who it was, but the dude hit me so hard that I flew 5 yards in the air.
Like the water boy?
No, like the Greatest American Hero.
Okay.
Because when I came back to practice the next day, they started singing the Greatest American Hero theme song to me, and then I promptly quit. I was like, I am not doing this anymore.
It's funny. Go ahead.
Wait.
Nick just pulled this up. Breakdancing is an Olympic sport.
Yeah, apparently it was really popular in 2018 at youth games in Brazil, and so it's obviously incredibly athletic.
It is. It's astonishingly so.
It will be included in the 2024 Paris Olympics.
So you've seen, we all freaked out the first time we saw that it was new about 8 years ago, the breakdancing movie, You Slide on Your Head.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that thing? Was that Stomp the Yard 11 or whatever movie that was in?
They do some crazy athletic stuff. Wow.
It is amazing.
All right. Well, we do need to take a break, but Kath, is he going to stick with swim?
Oh, he has to because
he should try aquatic shot put.
No. He won't do summer camp. I've told you guys this story before. He refuses to do summer camp. Whatever it is, he remembers something from it that he doesn't like. So in exchange for that, he has to be on the swim and diving team.
By the way, somebody suggested, and this is not that bad of an idea, that we have Casey throw a shot put over Kathy while she's wearing the hummingbird helmet, waiting for hummingbirds.
Combine them all.
Put it all together.
I bet you if you were to throw a shot put at that helmet, you wouldn't get injured.
Yeah, you'd probably be okay.
Stop it.
I mean, it's only 16 pounds.
Would you try it for us?
Now, here's the deal, guys. I promise you, I will not practice before this. When I do this,
It'll be the
on
first
air,
time?
it will be the very first time.
To be honest, this child had practice prior to doing it.
Yeah.
So
we'll let him see if he can.
No, Steve, I have no respect for this sport.
I have no respect for this guy.
All right. I want to take a break, Nick. I'm sorry we didn't get to your story.
Oh, it's not nearly as good.
But we'll talk about it probably tomorrow.
You climb Mount Everest if you want to know the short.
No, we need to take a break because Tom Papa's going to be joining us in just a couple of minutes. So we want to do that very thing. So hang out. We'll be back shortly with Tom Papa.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
It's officially foo season.
There's a big statue of a pretzel.
Okay. Here we go. do face masks together.
You mean like Halloween or
No,
beauty masks?
It says everyone cares about their skin.
This sounds like things to force your boyfriend to do with you.
That's what I'm hearing. Throw a party where your guests BYOB.
That's a lot of
That's
work.
not a date.
That's not a date.
That's
It's
not a date.
stupid.
Start binge watching a new show together. That's
kind of
what
obvious.
that's at home.
Yeah, that's standard.
Here we go. Do a puzzle together.
Oh, no. I hate puzzles.
Well, I'm okay with this one.
Are you?
Yeah, puzzles are fun.
Let's do a puzzle.
There was a while where we had just like a puzzle on the table that was whenever you wanted to go over and work on it, it was there.
Gosh. That is like a nightmare for me. That's a mess on a table that stays and doesn't leave.
You should have seen her face. She's rolling her eyes.
It's almost like the "Are we having sex?" face. Ew.
Pre-sneeze.
Kathy, the perfect puzzle to get if Dennis ever makes you get a puzzle to do is make sure that when it's put together it spells out "I want a divorce."
Seriously.
So that just looks like a mess to you.
I kind of agree. That's why I hate puzzles. There's always a piece missing.
Have you ever gone to a psychologist to check to see if you're OCD or?
No, I haven't.
Wait right here, Miss Romano. I need to go into the other room.
I've not officially been diagnosed.
All right.
I know that I've actually had the the therapist did the ADD stuff on me, and I have a whole bunch of things working.
Yeah, we would leave a puzzle laying out on the table, and the whole family could work on it from time to time. You could do it on your own, or
I would
everybody
throw
would
it
kinda
out.
sit there and we worked on it together.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
It's not necessarily date activity. It's
Kathy.
more family activity.
Yeah, it's not a date activity.
I would do this into the garbage.
Seriously, I'm just thinking, this has been here for a month. Is anyone going to finish the puzzle?
Mommy's so much fun. How come these balloons were not inflated?
How about this? Take a bunch of personality quizzes together.
Oh, that'll be great.
Won't that be fun?
You are a little obsessive. What did you say? Well, you never complete a jigsaw puzzle.
By the way, these are 65 great cheap first date ideas. Go on a guided tour together. Nick, you had mentioned that one. Here we go. Wake up ass early and watch the sunrise together.
No.
Thank you. Make breakfast for dinner. That can be fun. That's good for a family. No, Casey says.
Hey, look, we're having cereal.
Oh.
That's not crazy. Normally associated with breakfast, but we're having it now. It's over, isn't it?
It's over.
Go for a run.
Go for a run.
That's not a date.
I'm going to go for a run, and I'm not going to stop.
That's exercise. See a movie at an off time.
Let's go at 4 o'clock. Isn't that crazy? We're living on the edge. It's over, isn't it?
I have some cereal in the car.
It's over, isn't it?
Keep running.
The next guest's film is not premiering until November 21st, but if you had partaken upon all these movies that are available, you would have gotten to see his movie last night because there was a screening of it.
Yes.
And we are happy to have him back in our studio yet again, and he's brought you so many great films in one way, shape, or the other over the years. Up in the Air, Thank You for Smoking, Juno, Whiplash, just to name a few. And now, here to talk about the front runner, we have Mr. Jason Reitman. Yay. Good to see you again, man.
It's good to see you. I just really feel bad for your audience that, they were listening to all these great stories about sex injuries, and then you're like, let's talk about art film, guys.
Well, this way we can say, hey, look, we're well-rounded, and this gives it credibility. Even if we're not well-rounded, we give the illusion of being well-rounded.
I almost buy it.
Congratulations on this. There's a lot of buzz over the movie, which is called Front Runner. It's the story of Gary Hart's run towards the presidency and the beginning of a I think, and as you rightly point out, and I've read interviews with you about the film, it was sort of a flashpoint for when news became tabloid and things that used to sort of like in the Kennedy years, the press sort of said, you got your personal thing, we'll cover it to some extent, and then, or even before, there were some things that just were not. Let's focus on the politics, and this is what we're here to talk about. But then it became something wholly other. And I remember as the Gary Hart story was unfolding, and it just now, of course, we have a multitude of news sources, but the country was focused. And so, in 1 week, a guy who looked like he was going to be the next president, It just came crashing down.
When I heard the story, I just thought, oh, here is a thread that leads us to 2018. When we try to imagine, all right, when does this moment start? When does tabloid journalism drive into the lane of political journalism? Here you have the story that is this kind of great pH test that reflects both sides of the audience.
Politics always surfaces in movies if it's done right because it's compelling. It can be very compelling, and The Candidate is a perfect example.
I have a tattoo from another movie of the same director.
What is it?
It's from Downhill Racers. The poster from Downhill Racers. So I am
awesome.
I'm really nerdy. Yeah.
That's very cool. So, but is that in fact the case?
It's not cool, but I appreciate that. But anyhow, look. It became this way to kind of understand today, and it's this thriller of a movie that touches on gender politics, that touches on the relationship between journalists and candidates, and that line between where our public life becomes our private life.
Right.
Before we got on this conversation, we were talking off air. We're headed to London tomorrow. What should we do while we're in London?
Are any of you guys Harry Potter fans?
Oh,
100%.
Yeah, Nick is massive fan.
Okay,
we're all fans.
They took the 2 stages where they shot the film at Leavesden in London, and they've turned it into this Harry Potter experience. And look, I'm a cynical guy, right? Like, I may thank you for smoking. That's who I am. But I filled with positive glee walking through the Harry Potter experience.
Really?
They have everything. They've like broken it down to like every one that was built, every set that was built, how they did the characters. You have butterbeer. It's sincerely magical.
Is it one of those things you got to get tickets way in advance for, do you think? Or
all right, I'm going to be a tool right now.
You pulled strings.
I just called someone at Warner Brothers. But
son of a bitch.
So first become a famous filmmaker, then call your connection at Warner Brothers.
We're close friends with Jason Reitman.
My rule is always first be born the son of a famous director.
Okay.
And then everything will just line up perfectly.
What if you're a producer on a radio show in Philadelphia and you have a guest who's been to this thing? Can you ask that person to ask somebody for something?
Live on the air, of course you can ask.
WWE is in town, Monday Night Raw, and we want to welcome to our studio gentlemen who will be there. Ladies and gentlemen, Elias is with us this morning.
Thank you. Hello, I am Elias.
Nice to see you, sir. Is this your intro music or?
No, so this was a song off of my debut EP album that came out. It was one of 4 songs that I released. It's called Walk With Me. Went all the way up the charts on iTunes, beat out Taylor Swift and Post Malone, Panic at the Disco, the whole thing.
That's just amazing.
Nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
We'll turn this up a little bit. Hang on.
But I know where you're gonna be. You're lost in this crazy world, searching for your destiny.
Very bluesy and soulful and kind of dark. And
that sums me up real well right there, man.
Very
Yeah,
Johnny Cash-esque, too.
Very much so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
That's cool, but also it gives you an advantage, too, because you can smash guitars over people, too.
It is. It's very nice to have that weapon with. Exactly.
And this is you playing guitar as well?
Yeah, there's actually a nice, we don't have to get to it, but a cool guitar solo coming up that I also did, yeah. Well, yeah, it's all me.
Hey, you know what? With that, and obviously, wrestling is your trade. It's where you make your money. But you also want to have a music career. Are you careful with your hands when you're in the ring?
Yeah, of course, man. I don't want anybody to target these things. You know what I'm saying? I make my money in the ring, but also with these.
It's your cottage industry. Well, you have Chris Jericho and Fozzy.
Yeah, sure.
So,
yeah.
I mean, this is not.
He's the singer, though. I don't think he plays any instrument. As far as I could tell, I don't think Chris Jericho plays any instruments. So
Right. But I mean, they've got some good traction. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, Fozzie's doing great, man. All over the world, those guys.
With the WWE, it's all about the marketing and the fans enjoying it and getting everybody out there to have a good time. You talk about the different people that come out. I was at a Raw event one time, and there was this woman, like it seemed like in her 70s, going ape-ass. I mean, the age range is astonishing.
Sure.
Who comes out to you? But who would you describe as the core Elias fan?
Man, I mean, a core Elias fan is anybody that believes that WWE stands for Walk with Elias.
There you go.
That's all that
Walk
matters
with
to
Elias.
me, man. That's all that matters to me. And the world screams it at me every week when I tell them. So, I gotta say, man, people come, they let loose, they let go, they just enjoy the show, and nothing's more enjoyable than an Elias performance.
How long have you been wrestling with the WWE now?
So I've been in the company for a little over 4 years, and I've been on Monday Night Raw for, I gotta say, maybe a year and a half now. Something about that.
Is that when it steps up to the next level? Because I assume there are certain levels of WWE.
Absolutely, yeah. Monday Night Raw is the pinnacle of live television for WWE. Live TV every single week, millions around the world watching, tens of thousands in attendance, whatever it may be.
It's amazing.
How hard do you have to work as a performer to build a fan base?
So for me, it's been pretty natural progression from where I was in NXT, which was our kind of our where you are right before Monday Night Raw, before SmackDown and stuff like that. So I was starting to build something there, and then when I exploded onto Monday Night Raw, the world got to see kind of who I am and what it is, and you build an audience from that point on. So for some people, it comes very natural. Others, it's very difficult. But that's all part of the game.
Well, you wrestled the independent circuit for a while, right?
Yeah, I was on the independents for a few years before I got scooped up by the WWE, probably about 4 years, yeah.
Listen, what you do, there's injuries are part of the deal. And, I've been ringside, and his blood's not fake. You guys get, you'll get your asses kicked sometimes.
No, yeah.
But there are people in place to make sure that you're taken care of. How lawless and unchecked is the independent circuit, and when you're just working your way up?
Well, you're gonna come across all different kinds of things. Not only when it comes down to the performers, maybe not being as trained as they should be, or things like that.
That's what I'm thinking. Guys who don't know what they're doing can really,
But you've got rings, and that might not be up to quality.
Sure.
The thing said, though, the level we're at, people get hurt, man. I could tell you. I myself, it just was a random situation in Nashville a few years ago. I had a guy come off the top rope, land on the side of my shin, and snap my tibia.
You're a bit of a renaissance man, and not just the music, but you're an artist as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do a little bit of it all. I play all different instruments. I wrestle. I paint, of course. I guess you're pulling up my
It's
Instagram.
pretty damn good, man.
I found one. It's very Bob Ross-ish.
Yes.
I'm looking at one that's which is beautiful, and Bob Ross kind of gets I guess chucked aside, but he did some wonderful things.
And he was Muay Thai, Preston. He fought in the octagon. Yeah, absolutely.
I had no idea. Is this stuff that you do? Do you have time to do this while you're on the road, or do you do that at home?
So if I have any time at home, that's it. And it's Bob Ross, the same style as Bob Ross, which is the oil painting and things like that, which I love, and. Yeah, so that is if I have any kind of free time. It's just another creative outlet for me, but definitely not painting on the road. That would be nice.
Well, dude, if you can smash a guitar over people, imagine you bring in that little paint spatula that he would use. You just jab it in his throat.
Damage,
yeah, you could
that's right. Yeah.
Paint brushes and stuff. That'd be cool.
I have to ask tonight, will Miss Rousey be part of the show?
Ronda Rousey will be in the house tonight. Nice. She'll be at Philly. I'm not sure what she's doing. She's got some issues going on with the Bella twins after last week.
It was sort of brutal.
Called them a bunch of untrustworthy bitches, I think.
I believe those were her words. Exactly.
It didn't sound good.
I love her. Yeah. I have such a crazy crush on her. It's ridiculous.
Ronda?
Yeah.
She's fantastic, man. She's come into WWE. She's lit the place on fire. And above all else, she walks with Elias, so I'm a big fan of hers.
All right.
And Elias, it seems that she did the right thing. You come in. She didn't come in. She didn't come in like. Well, I'm entitled. She earned the audience a bit and did her deal. Correct.
Well, you know what? She's shown the world, aside from her amazing background, right? She's shown them that she is passionate about what we do also.
Yeah.
And it's, if you could be real on TV, the fans, the people, they will see that, they will feel that, and they'll either connect to you or they won't, man. So, and I think she's just been real and she's been true to herself, and that's just a huge key in what we do.
I have to ask, when it's all going down, when the production's on and it's the cameras are on, because it's cameras backstage as well.
You mentioned the smoke issue, Kathy, and our next guest actually has got a show in Canada, and hopefully it still won't be on fire by the time he gets there. But he's touring all over the place. But he's got a book, and we love talking to him at any point in time. And the new book is called We're All in This Together, So Make Some Room. Do I have music to bring him on with?
You do.
Oh, wow. What do I have here? Oh, yeah. I love that. But yes, it just went on sale on Tuesday. It is available wherever books are sold. Please welcome the one and only Tom Papa this morning to the show. Good morning.
Bravo, bravo.
Bellissimo. Nice to see you, sir. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Hey,
very exciting.
Were you aware of this smoke thing that we have going on in the Northeast right now?
I was in New York yesterday.
Oh, okay.
You're acutely aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in it. My first interview was at literally right next to the World Trade Center. I was up 60 floors. I was like, oh, this is going to be a nice view. And I could see about 2 inches from the window.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really weird. And I was, my wife, we were out sitting outside, or she called me outside and she's like, do you smell this and see this? I'm like, yeah. And she was concerned that maybe there was a fire nearby. I'm like, well, maybe somebody's, having a bonfire or something like that. And she goes, later on, a few minutes later, she's like, oh, it's from the wildfires in Canada. I'm like, come on.
Moron.
Yeah, essentially, I was brushing her off like that. I'm like, never would that,
Canadian?
Yeah, come on. And then I wake up the next morning and the news is covering it, and I had to apologize thoroughly to her. I never in my life would I think that smoke from Canada is drifting into Philadelphia.
I know. Yeah. It was so creepy being in the city, walking around, seeing people wearing masks for a totally different reason.
Right.
I was like, oh, man, just leave us alone
with this. Well, so you're well, listen, that's sort of like a horror movie scenario with the fog and all this, the mists of Stephen King's story. I have to ask you a follow-up question. You had a ghost picture in a video you showed us.
Yeah, that's right.
In your home.
Oh, yeah.
And we were all very intrigued. Have there been further sightings?
When you say intrigued, do you mean scared to death?
Of the demon that lives with you? Yes, possibly. No, but you seem to, while you were trepidatious, you were still intrigued. You yourself were interested about it. You seem to be, at least.
Yeah, well, definitely when you have a figure that looks like a man in a trench coat carrying a machine gun in your office, you're definitely going to be intrigued.
Right.
And, just the other day, I came back. I haven't seen him, but every once in a while something happens. The other day I came back and I have this little shelf with my books and stuff on it, and it was all knocked over. They're all the books were scattered. And it's pretty high. It's not it's too high for my pug to get up there and do it because he's such an ass. He would definitely do it.
Right.
He just he's very spiteful, but I think it was the ghost.
Well, you caught video on your security camera, right? It's a motion camera, and that's what originally caught the footage. And you sent it to us or showed it to us, and I thought it was pretty convincing.
It is very convincing. I was on the road and I was like, I got an alert because for the first time I put a camera on.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how it worked, and it made an alert, and I looked and I was like, it was my dog. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I can see my dog. I was like, that would be a good horror movie. What happens if you're on the road and all of a sudden you get an alert and there's just some dude looking in the camera?
Right, yeah.
And then right as I said that, it goes off again, and there's this man in a trench coat standing in my office.
Well, all right,
very disturbing.
You're safe for at least the time being. You haven't been accosted.
Yeah, I'm in Chicago now. I just leave my family, go on the road, and let them deal with it.
That's what you do.
You know an exorcist.
So the book, we're all in this together, so make some room. Right before COVID hit, you had a special that was called You're Doing Fine.
You're doing great.
You're doing great.
That was it. Yeah, you're doing great.
Better than
wonderful.
fine.
Better than fine. So this, we're all in this together, seems to be a nod. That was a phrase that we heard repeated through COVID. Did you pick it up from that or something totally different?
Yeah, it was kind of that vibe that I was getting when I was on tour, especially after the pandemic, or during the pandemic into after the pandemic. The news, was constantly hitting this drumbeat of we all hate each other and America's divided, and then you tour and you see people, and that is very far from the real truth of everyday people. Everyday people are just trying to get along. So I just had that in my head.
I love that.
And
I love that observation.
Yeah, and then I started noodling around with these essays, and because I'm always writing the next book, and it really just started. I started to realize not only are we in it together and not hate each other, but we also need each other, and you can learn from each other. We always think we're the first human being on the planet, and you're the only one going through these experiences. But if you just keep your eyes and ears open to your fellow man and people who've been here before us, it's all been figured out. It's all been figured out. There's a cocktail hour for a reason. There's shelves filled with ointments in CVS for a reason. You're not the first one to go through all of this. So the essays are really about like all of the clues that I've found that other people have left for us.
I become more acutely aware. I read a great book by an author, Naomi Wolf, and she talks about, she breaks down all these studies about the literal need for us to be with each other, to smile at each other, to put a hand on a shoulder. That it's literally it can affect your health in incredibly positive ways, and being deprived of it can serve the opposite effect.
Yeah, 100%. Now, that doesn't mean when I'm at the Newark airport and there's some guy trying to cut the line that I'm not plotting in my head of how to kill him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We understand.
Yeah. I mean, we're all in this together, so make some room is the name of the book. If you're not making room, I think I get to eliminate you.
Someone call that austere. Others would call that practical.
Yeah, exactly. No, but there's definitely, I mean, there were all those videos. I remember when I was a kid watching like a documentary on chimpanzees.
Yeah.
And there was like one who was like not in sync with nature, who was off by themselves.
Yeah.
And they became like depressed. And they were like starting rocking back and forth. And the ones that were just hanging around picking bugs off each other, they were so happy.
They were thrilled. Yeah, there was like the one chimp ended up looking like Larry King later.
Yeah, actually they all did.
It's funny though. The story about standing in line, somebody cutting in. I mean, like Casey is probably one of the most accepting, non-judgmental, or if he's being judgmental, acknowledges that he's being judgmental and then tries to correct his way.
Gregarious.
People that I've ever met, and yet I hear a story from time to time about how you want to kill someone.
Yeah.
Figuratively.
Yeah. And I try to, I don't like feeling like that.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I know. And I'm the same as you, Casey. Like you always can see, well, that guy's acting that way for a reason.
Right.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So, and for instance, sorry to cut you off here. Like,
go ahead.
somebody was like, this world is going to crap. And he says, my friend was in Seattle and they were at a stoplight and they saw this person just stop in the middle of the street and take a dump, right? And one would go, yes, this world is turning to crap. But I go, that poor guy. Could you imagine that, like, that was your only choice was to like drop trout right there in the middle of the street? Like, I went into that guy's head going, what would cause this poor person to take a dump in the middle of the street?
That guy had that moment in his Google Calendar for like a month.
Yes.
You're right though about the overall judging, prejudging and not thinking in context. And I was telling Preston about, over the past year or so, get out of your own head. And stop holding things to the parameters that you judge yourself on, and try to be that kind with other people and say, maybe this was a horrible day for this person, and you give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, I think your airport scenario does warrant murder.
Yeah, you can only do so much. I mean, we're human beings, and look, it's kind of a selfish theme of the book because it's really to make your life better. It's not really like should make everybody else.
Yeah,
it's. You learn from these lessons. Like if you see a guy, jump off a trampoline into a ceiling fan, that guy's a moron, but you should thank him because now you know not to do that.
Yes, exactly.
Tom, when you're describing these things, occasionally I think are people in the Northeast part of this country worse when it comes to being short or judging or whatever? And then I tend to think, well, like people are kind of people everywhere, right? But you travel a lot. Your job takes you to a lot of different places. What's your perspective on cities that have healthier perspectives on interacting with humanity and cities like New York or Philly where it might be a little touchier?
Yeah, it's definitely touchier. I think it's density is a big part of it. I think we're just so on top of each other. Like New Jersey is the most dense state that you have. I think that pushes everybody to the brink a little bit. I was just saying, I was just touring. I was in Atlanta, down south, and I know they're full of it, but they're. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
They present
Welcome, sir.
it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Honey.
You have a blessed day. You have a blessed day. Holding the door open for you, and I know it can't be real, but it makes you feel a lot better than. Yo, what? I had a friend that said she was someplace and she's like, oh, all these people in the Midwest are so nice. I got to get back to New York, and she got to Newark Airport and walked up to the Starbucks, and the barista just looked at her and went, "What?"
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome home.
I think is there a case to be made with happiness and being pleasant that if you employ the fake it till you make it, like in other words, keep at it and you will do it. You know what I'm saying? It's a goal worth convincing yourself that you are.
Yes. 100%. I know some people really struggle and you can't turn it around so easy. There's definitely a genetic thing at play.
Yes.
So some people are wrestling a much bigger bear inside their head.
Yeah, you don't want to be
But
dismissive.
Yeah, but for the most part, you can completely change your attitude. I think you, like you said, it's a practice. You have to work at it.
I would think also, and I agree with you about, faking, at least being, hey, sweet, and that might be a little bit of a performative thing as far as the density of the population. But in a rural population, if you live, 200 miles from the closest person and you're in your house and someone comes to your front door, you're going to shoot them.
Yeah.
Because there's no good. Right?
Yeah, who's knocking? We haven't had a knock since 1979. Yeah, it's but I really think it's, like I said, it's kind of like a selfish thing. I just started to realize, everyone's figured all this out. Like everything. Like even like the cocktail hour at 5 o'clock. And I know it's like a cliche and people make goofy t-shirts. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. But you know what? That is a time-honored tradition. That has been figured out. That people before us started getting hammered at noon and they're like, no, that doesn't work. And then they got started. Then they held off until like 8 and they're all cranky and hitting their kids at dinner. Yeah. And they're like, no, 5 o'clock. This is exactly when it's going to work. And we should follow that. We should follow that lead. We don't have to reinvent the wheel.
I love that thinking. Yeah, because it's true. And sometimes narcissism makes you think, well, I'm clearly the first person to encounter this scenario. And it's like, no, the odds are against that.
No, 100%. Like we're all living from the same brochure. As much as like you want to feel like you're special, and you are. I have a daughter's graduating high school next week, and my other daughter's already in college. And so next year we're going to be without kids in the house for the first time in 20 years. And I'm walking around thinking, wow, about this experience. And then you talk to somebody who just went through that.
Yeah.
And they give you exactly how you're going to feel. They tell you exactly you're going to miss them so much, you're going to cry, and then you're going to light a joint in your living room and be the happiest person in the world.
Are you guys going to do a graduation party?
Yeah, we're doing, because we're back in LA and all our families in Jersey and New York. We have a bunch of people coming out, some nieces and nephews and stuff. So they're all going to be staying in my house for like 5 days. It's gonna be a whole thing.
Do you handle the
full house?
The full house with any sort of skill, or is it hard?
Yeah, for a short time, for like a couple days, it's gonna be a lot of fun. But my parents are coming for like 2 weeks. And that's not good. But my father just picks the date. This is what he does. He picks the date. That's graduation. Then he goes before and after it until it's cheap enough, and then he buys the ticket.
That's how he does it. Okay.
Yeah, and he doesn't ask. He just shows up. And we're like, what? Wait. He's literally getting there today.
Wow.
And I'm on the road. I'm in Chicago, and I'm going back to New York. And my mother's like, they're coming tomorrow. I'm like, yeah,
have fun.
That was a cheap flight. And guess what? They're not paying for dinner.
I remember Preston had a good story about when you were going out to visit your daddy. You picked a time, Preston.
Oh, yeah.
And you brought it up to him.
I was going to surprise him. I'm like, yeah, we'll take the whole family out there. We haven't been there in a couple of years. It's going to be great. He'll love it. And I was like, Dad, so, I call him up. I'm about present this as if it's a gift to him that we're bringing the family. Come to see him.
You're about to get some good news, Dad.
About ready to purchase the plane tickets and everything. And I goes, yeah, we'd like to take the family out there, be there for Thanksgiving. And, what do you think about that? And he just pauses for a second and goes, I think it'd be a bit much. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. I was committed to doing this. I was a little relieved afterwards. I thought about, like, great, we don't have to do all that.
That's the thing. I always carry a lot of guilt with me that, like, I'm not doing enough for my parents. And it's like, you want to have fun, and I do love them to death, but, they also get annoying. And I always feel guilty, but I always forget that they're not that happy with me.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My father dropped during his last trip, he dropped a cookie in front of me and stepped on it by mistake.
Oh, no.
And he peeled it off his shoe and ate it right in front of me.
Oh.
And I'm looking at him like, what are you doing? And he looked at me like a toddler who knows he's in trouble but doesn't know why. Yeah. He was just like, what? I'm like, you don't eat shoe cookies. And he goes, no. 3-second rule. It's okay.
First he's got...
like, what do you mean 3-second rule? That's not how it works. If you drop a cookie in the toilet, you don't get to eat it if you're quick about it.
A, it's 5 seconds, and B, there's no mention of shoes.
Yeah. Scraping it off your shoe.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
But I know that night he probably got into bed and was complaining to my mother, like, Mr. Big Shot over there doesn't eat shoe cookies. Who's this guy think he is? Let's get out of here.
You know what I never understood was the bottle opener that's at the bottom of flip-flops?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's gnarly.
It is completely and totally gnarly.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Hey,
but
I wanted to ask Tom about going back to your family. Do they read your books that you put out, your mom and dad?
Yeah, I actually dedicated this one to them. It's actually,
that's awesome.
Which is good because I there's a couple essays where I let them have it. So I figured,
you need to read this.
Yeah, so I figure if I dedicated it to them, it would make it seem nicer.
Ever any blowback of family material that's put into a book?
My wife gave me on the last special. My wife gave me a hard time about a couple things, which weren't even really big things. But I think that now that she's a little older and going through all these changes, she's maybe feeling more vulnerable. So like, when I would make jokes about her boobs when she was 30 and she was, those just bounced off her because she's like, yeah, you can make fun of these, but we both know these are the champs. And now she's like, why are you making fun of my boob?
Well, the thing you begin to learn is that it doesn't matter how you think it sounds or what your intent was, it's how it lands. And that's all that matters.
100%.
Yeah.
Which is hard when you're doing comedy because the whole audience, it lands and they're laughing and rolling in the aisles. And then there's one person who's shaking their head, but you live with them.
Right. It's your own wife.
Yeah. So you're like, are these laughs worth having an uncomfortable breakfast?
Right. They pay for the breakfast sometimes too,
Yeah, no kidding. But ultimately I'll try my best to kind of curb it. But a couple got into the special that she wasn't a fan of.
I wanted to ask you quickly about the designs of the books and how proactive are you with the look and the cover photo and all that stuff?
Look how sexy this cover is.
Because I was just saying, it looks pretty cool. You're arched back and it has a sort of a glittery, all that jazz. vibe
all in this
there?
together, so make some room. Yeah, I'm very involved. They have designers, and they kind of send it, and I just get into the conversation of what color would be cool or how the layout looks, and I don't have a real skill. I know when it's right.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to make it right.
No, congratulations, man. It's cool. And it's obviously, you're obviously passionate about this and moved to, put pen to paper and express your feelings.
Yeah, man, it's fun. And it's a really, it's funny. It's when you do stand up, you know that night after you write it whether or not it's funny, and this is like you have to wait a year and a half.
Yeah.
But people are coming back and saying that it's good, so I'm definitely relieved. I'll send you guys a couple copies.
Oh,
nice. We love that. Tom, you and Fortune Feimster do a radio show, and I'm curious if you've been watching FUBAR at all with Fortune. Have you checked that?
Yes, I did. I've watched a couple of them. She's great. She's very funny, of course, and everything. But it's long. They're like an hour a piece.
Right. Yeah.
So I never have time to watch like half-hour shows. So I got through a couple of them, and it's very Schwarzenegger, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
It's very like simple. Just we're not going to make this. We're not trying to win awards for screenwriting here. We're just going to shoot some shit. Stuff. Sorry. And
you're the one with the language latitude on your format.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Are you watching it?
I've watched. Yeah, my wife and I have been watching it. I think we watched like 4 of the episodes, and it's fun. It's Arnold. That's what we're in it for. And is her relationship with Arnold? Are they pretty tight?
Yeah, that's been really hard to take.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's friends with Arnold now.
Yeah.
And I, she didn't grow up with Arnold like I did. I was watching Pumping Iron and stuff, and he was my guy. She was just like kind of knew him on the periphery. She's younger, and was like, yeah, I guess I'll do a thing with him. And now she's tight with him.
Yeah.
And I can't get close.
You had dibs.
Yeah. I should have been in that, for crying out loud.
I started watching the documentary series about Schwarzenegger last night. It's pretty wild.
Is it?
Yeah, it's because you have, current Arnold, but I mean, his dad, for all intents and purposes, Nazi, and I mean, and he goes back to the village and the whole thing, and it is an introspective Schwarzenegger, and it's pretty wild. I thought, okay, I'll check it out for a few minutes, and I was hooked.
Wow, I always remember when he was in a competition and didn't go home for his father's funeral.
Yeah, and that's in Pumping Iron, and everyone, this sadistic bastard wouldn't even attend. His father was, from all indications, not a good dude.
Wow.
Yeah. I heard he ate a lot of shoe cookies.
It'll do it.
What you find out in that first episode is that he came back from the war, and not only he, but basically everybody in the town that came back, they were just beating the hell out of their kids.
Yes, because they lost. They had all this stuff, pent up stuff they had lost.
Mm-hmm.
They felt they didn't know where they stood, and so they took it out on the family. He does, though, constantly mentions his best friend Fortune Feimster, who
well, now I'm definitely not watching. It's ridiculous. They're like pals. She went to his house and got to play with his baby horse.
Oh man, he keeps it in the house, right?
Yeah, it just runs all over like a cat.
That's crazy.
And he smokes cigars constantly.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Yeah, I know. He loves cigars. He's like all Mr. Fitness, but he smokes cigars, so I guess we should too.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. If you want to look like that, you got to smoke cigars 24/7.
Yes. And growth hormone doesn't hurt either. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Are you taking testosterone? I want to take testosterone.
I took it a while ago at doctor's recommendations because I was, felt lethargic. He gave it to me, and then there was this big class action thing after it. I don't know if you remember. It was all the rage. You'd see commercials for it, all the pharmaceutical companies. And then this class action suit came out, and it turns out that it's bad to put additional hormones like that in your body. And it was actually leading to, they said it could exacerbate prostate cancer. Lo and behold, I got prostate cancer. Now, listen, I'm glad to be, past it and good. but
Wow.
there was a connection, a correlation. I don't have conclusive data, but that's what happened to me.
Oh, Jeez, no way.
Yeah.
All right.
Steve
I
got his
guess I'll just be
prostate removed.
sluggish.
And no longer has seminal fluid. So
I
that's a
liked it
plus.
so much, I had my semen machine removed.
Good for you.
Yeah, now it's really just popcorn that comes out.
Everyone loves popcorn.
They do.
Yes.
It's not a hard sell.
Steve is a hit at parties.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now you don't have to go down to the kitchen to eat.
So I was looking at your tour schedule. It looks like you're going to be coming to Delaware sometime soon in the summer. Anywhere else closer to Philly?
Yeah, summer. Yeah, I think we have 2 shows at the Keswick.
Oh, excellent.
They're, I think towards the end of this year.
Okay.
Terrific.
Yeah, we got 2 shows there, and then if you go up to Jersey, I'm doing NJ Pack in Newark, which is the biggest venue I've ever done. It's like 2,000 seats.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm really psyched for that one too. The summer is going to be Delaware, and then I'm just doing like a handful. I'm going up to Canada, like you said, to take care of the fires.
Yeah.
And then
Smoke eater.
Yeah. And then it'll really ramp up in the fall.
Now, when you fight fires like that, you traditionally like to parachute into the scene, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I don't. Some guys like to go by truck, but I like to come from the sky. It gives you perspective.
You're a smoke jumper.
You can see the hot spots.
Yeah. And I had a Uber driver yesterday who's like, they could put these. They have these planes where you scoop up water, and they could totally just get some water, go up there and drop it, and they could put these fires out like today. I was like, oh, why do you think they're not doing that? It's like whenever someone gives me those kind of conspiracy things, I always play dumb and like ask questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, really? I wonder why they're not doing that. He's like, well, I was like, that's a good argument.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
Whenever that about scooping water comes up, that urban legend about the diver being scooped up, because they
Right.
basically fly offshore or wherever it is, a lake or whatever, and scoop the water up, and that's you hear that one all the time, that a diver was caught up in one of the scoops.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, well, I'm like, well, they're probably, where are they going to get all the water? He said, have you ever heard of a thing called the ocean?
He said,
I was like, have you? Yeah, that's what he said. I was like, have you ever heard of not getting tipped? It's happening right now.
Well done. All right. Well, listen, Tom, we'll put the word out. We'll continue to put the word out that the new book is available now. We're all in this together, so make some room. Did you do an audio version? Because I'm an audiobook guy.
Yes, there's an audio version as well.
All right.
It's my it's Fortune Feimster and Arnold Schwarzenegger do it.
Oh,
damn it!
Yeah, I couldn't. My agent said they were thinking about me, but wanted to go in a different direction.
My favorite thing to do is to make sourdough bread.
Oh my God! We're all in this together.
All right. Well,
Make some room.
I'm going to order this today.
I have a ghost living in my apartment.
Oh my God! It's available wherever books are sold, and then we'll keep an eye out for those Keswick dates and get you on before then. All right, Tom.
Awesome. You guys are the best.
We love
Sincerely.
you. Appreciate it.
All
man.
right. Love you too.
Love
See you
Papa.
soon.
Take care. All right, we'll see you. There he goes. I'm telling you, he's my favorite comedian. I just love that guy. So let us take a quick break and come back in a moment, and we'll get to the file.
Yes.
And still have some great stories to share with you. And just a reminder, Woodbury Junior and Senior High School, you guys are the last school that gets to vote for the coolest teacher.
And as I said earlier, the mutiny is still on. We're going strong for this evening. We'll see you there.
Excellent. We'll take a break and be right back.
Preston and Steve. On 93.3 WMMR.
Here, go. Or is there ever like you're running around like, is it pandemonium, behind the curtains there, as you're putting on the whole show?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
No, I mean, in other words, as you're getting everything ready, as you're doing the, because there's a backstage
You're
area.
saying, like preparing for the show?
Right, yeah.
It's different every single time
Is
you
it?
show up, man. You know what I mean? It's it's a machine.
Yeah.
And then it's the human element. You know what I mean? And they're coming together, and you got to make a big show. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
that's what I was
going on all the
wondering.
time.
It's several hours long, so you guys, it's a long day of work for everybody, especially the crew, the people that puts all that stuff together and make sure that everything runs properly. But when you're waiting for your match, when you're backstage, wherever they have you guys set up, are you watching what's going on, or do you just wait till your show?
No,
till it's
I'll be
showtime?
honest with you, man. I'll keep an eye on what's going on, but usually I'm in the back. I'm playing guitar, just kind of getting in my own mind as to whatever I got to do for my performance tonight. You know, sometimes I like to take a pre-performance nap, if I can, get in the right mindset.
Yeah.
Or,
I knew I liked you.
sit tease to get my voice ready. You know, whatever it may be, I'm doing my own thing.
Great to meet you. Thanks for coming by here.
You got it.
Have fun tonight. WWE Raw tonight. A team of researchers from the UK and Spain has found evidence showing that, contrary to popular belief, the orgasm face is not the same as the pain face.
I think they're different.
Yes.
I would think that my O face is different than a pain face.
The researchers created a computer program to mimic a wide variety of gender-neutral facial expression. And they started with mathematical models that have been developed for animating faces, and it included a core set of 42 movements representing different parts of the face.
Jesus, this is a scary... These computer renderings are pretty horrifying.
Aren't they? They're weird looking.
They're terrifying.
So in this research, they asked 80 adults, half male, half female, to determine if the expressions showed orgasm, pain, or something else. They used the results to build better models and then asked another 104 people to assess the simulated facial expressions. The researchers found a clear distinction between perceptions of pain and pleasure. Most of the volunteers agreed on which was which, but there was more to the study. The volunteers had also been divided into two cultural groups, half from Western cultures and half from Asian cultures. Both groups saw clear differences between orgasmic faces and pained faces, but they differed markedly in what they saw as the face of a person experiencing an orgasm.
So we're looking at 4 computer-generated faces here. It looks like they're at a Dane Cook show. They're just smiling and sort of chuckling.
Those from here's how it played out. Those from Western cultures tended to choose wide-eyed expressions with gaping mouths.
Yeah.
Asian volunteers, on the other hand, chose smiling faces with tightened lips.
Yeah.
This is really great.
It sounds like a bowel movement. All right. Well, what do you imagine, if you can, for me? What would you imagine your face looks like?
Oh God, I don't want to know.
I think I'm kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
I think I have I think I have an open mouth.
Do you wide open? Really?
Oh, something like that.
It's so funny that you have no interest in seeing your own face.
No, my God.
But seeing
people
somebody,
who videotape themselves having sex. No. Are you kidding me?
But seeing your partner's face, seeing your girlfriend's face or your wife's face, like that's a turn on, though. Like I am turned off by my own face.
I think I look like Bogart.
Somebody texts and says, "O faces look the same as pre-sneeze faces."
Yeah. 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 A little bit. Yes.
I'm making my pre-sneeze face. No, I don't look. There's no way I look like that.
Maybe you
Let
do.
me see your pre-sneeze face, Casey. Stop it.
Do it again.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make you sneeze so hard.
Sneeze all over your face.
I'm gonna sneeze all over your face.
Oh, that's so gross.
Sorry, just sneezed on your back.
God, I'm gonna sneeze all over your face.
Kathy, there's a question for you. What would
Sneeze
you
on my
rather
face.
have
I'm
all
gonna
over your
sneeze you a pearl necklace.
Sneeze
I
on
think
my
the
face.
sneeze face might be accurate.
Really?
A little bit.
I purposely didn't ask
Hey,
the.
all right,
Yeah, I want to see
my
your pre-sneeze face,
All right,
please.
hold on,
All right, I know you're laughing. but
Serious.
This is Kathy's orgasm face.
Second.
Do you think Guppies is still open?
Oh my God.
What time does Target.com close?
Oh my God, will this ever end? I'm so hungry.
Target.com?
That closes?
Last week, well, I already said that.
No, do it again.
Tell us the golf ball story again.
Do it again with a British accent.
No.
What?
The first North American. The first North American tour. Oh my God.
November, December, January, February.
But then a young ingenue came in to turn everything around. Kathy Romano stars in Let's Go to Guppies. Starring Bill Weston as the program director who hates her mentioning guppies all the time. She had 2 babies.
Okay. God, that's a Dawson's Creek.
Oh, yeah.
She had another hit, didn't she? Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? Was that the other?
Paula Cole?
Was that Paula Cole or
Where have all the Cowboys gone?
I remember that song. I wasn't sure if that was her or not. Nick, you'll have to look that up. I did like some of her stuff.
She had hairy pits. Do you remember that?
Yeah. She
That
was
a big thing.
She was.
I thought that was her father.
That was her father, Harry Pitt.
I'm a private detective. Have you heard about my girl?
Name's Harry.
She sings the title song for Dawson's Creek. The sun sunk into the sky like a pearl in a bottle of Prel.
What?
You remember that commercial?
Yeah,
No.
So random.
Nick Stevens has singles or releases or music video.
Where Have All the Cowboys Gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paula Cole. What am I looking up now?
It was the kind of yellow you'd see on an office window where people smoked a lot.
I didn't see the title at the top. I just thought that was the Paula Cole page. So yes, Steve, she did indeed do.
Thank you.
Where have all the cowboys gone?
I'm out.
You're out? Aw.
It's Friday, late Friday.
It is. It was late Friday.
It was late Friday. I ate all over as if I just won a marathon. Kathy came into the office. Told me she'd made reservations at Guppy. Bill came in, prattling on something about third leg of the stool.
Can't take it, man. Oh. This is his directorial debut for the film Wildlife. Please welcome back to our studio after 6 years, Mr. Paul Dano. This morning. Good to see you, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Listen, so your directorial debut, and also you wrote the screenplay or co-wrote the screenplay. Going into this, what kind of expectations did you set for yourself? That's a big, big, big project.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, directing is such a long journey and such a big experience. I think you're just sort of setting expectations one step at a time.
Okay.
So honestly, at first, you're just trying to write a good script and set yourself up with a foundation that you can feel good on. Then you're just like trying to get the actors to say yes. Then you're just like trying to get the money.
And we're talking years and years, and we're talking about what, about like 4 years?
I would say so. I read a book called Wildlife by Richard Ford, who's an incredible American writer.
Right.
Probably 2011 or 2012, and started turning this thing over in my head, thinking, okay, can this be a film? Can this be a film for me?
So do you immediately option it because because I know how these things play, and you want to make sure you have it, correct?
Correct, but I did not immediately option
Really?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I sort of wanted to make sure that I had something to offer it. Also, because I sort of do admire Richard Ford, I really wanted to sort of know that there was a film. Just a good book doesn't necessarily make a film, so why make a film of it? And when I thought of the ending for this film, which is different than the book, that's when I optioned the book, because I sort of knew the final shot sort of gave me the energy and the courage to sort of actually do it.
It's very cool because I think when you take, so you and Zoe Kazan co-wrote the screenplay, and it was from what I understand, it was a back and forth process, and that actually, you kind of took a very long run at it at first, and she sort of helped you, whittle it down and get to that point. But you sort of got the blessing from the author of the book to just make it your own property. And at that point when that happened, you have a sigh of relief? Because I think the onus would, or you'd feel sort of you'd have to be as faithful to the source material out of respect. But when he sort of cuts you loose, was that a breath of relief? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not only because I like his work, but he basically said that my book is my book and your picture is your picture.
Oh, that's
you
great.
need to establish your own values, and that sort of immediately gives you permission to sort of follow now what the film is. And you have to. He had the great bit of wisdom that you can't just sort of translate a book and make it a film.
On MMR with another celebration at the end of the world. I can't help but air guitar and air drum to that song anytime I hear it.
It's insane.
It is 9:50 on this Thursday morning. Let's take our final look at traffic and see what's going on now. Kathy, what's happening?
There's another portion of the Pennsylvania Turnpike that is closed now. Eastbound between Route 29 and Valley Forge, you're closed because of an accident. 95 southbound jams the Walt Whitman Bridge to Broad Street. An accident in the left lane. Schuylkill Expressway eastbound, Evie the Boulevard into the Vine, westbound Bear Avenue to the Vine, City to Belmont, and then again at the Conshohocken Curve. 495 is at a 55-mile-per-hour speed restriction because of the smoke hazard. Also in Delaware, toll booths are unattended because of the air quality. There will be no violations issued for motorists who proceed safely through the toll plaza. Yeah, and then because of the smoking conditions at the Philadelphia International Airport, there's a ground stop in effect for inbound flights. All inbound flights are being held at the departure airport. Check your airline or 1-800-PHL-GATE for updates on your flight leaving Philadelphia.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Polite's Florist. June is Rose Month, and Polite's is offering a dozen roses in a vase for just $59.95. It's $20 off of their regular price. So call 800-215-2929, or you can go to politesflorist.com to order. Dozens of rats living in squalor were rescued from a stalled van and moved safely Tuesday to the San Diego Humane Society.
We're putting you fellas up at the Hyatt.
A total of 78 rats were found in the van's dashboard and seats, as well as in dirty terrariums inside of the vehicle in Escondido.
And the ice machine wasn't working.
So at what point do we go from let's exterminate them to let's save
relocate them?
Yeah.
By the way, don't rats routinely live in squalor?
Yeah, right?
Aren't they kind of known as it's not, well, this is a great neighborhood, must have a lot of rats.
I found this kind of interesting because normally it's you call an exterminator, when you've got a rat issue. But Escondido police contacted humane law enforcement after officers towed the van overnight to the organization's campus. Police had been alerted to the vehicle with expired registration plates in a hotel parking lot. They noticed animals living inside the van. Humane officers and animal care staff wore protective gear to rescue 23 adult rats and 7 babies on the first day.
Save my baby.
The other rats were hiding in the dashboard, seating and lining of the vehicle.
Wow.
And had to be captured with food traps over several days in order to be rescued. I mean, they went to great effort to save
save
these
the
rats. Staff will continue to monitor the traps daily as they believe additional rats may be hiding in the van. Authorities have been in contact with the owner of the rats. Oh, someone owns them. They're pets.
Oh.
And a van.
There we go.
Humane officers will not be recommending any charges against the owner because she agreed to surrender all animals to the organization.
So they'll probably send the rats to a farm upstate where they can run around with other rats?
Free out in the fields and, play with other rats.
Dig.
After taking a bullet to the abdomen, a shooting victim's decision to give the suspect his gun back somehow did not backfire over the weekend. It all went down in Miami-Dade police, and it happened on Sunday at the Heat Food Market. Cedric Acra was packing heat that night in the store's parking lot when he got into an argument with the victim over Acra's mother, quote, not having keys to her own apartment.
Yeah, I'd shoot someone over that.
The report states the argument escalated to the point where Acra told the man, I'll kill you, and pointed the pistol at his head. It's not clear how the two knew each other. Police said the victim grabbed the gun, which went off amid the struggle, striking the victim in the wrist and abdomen. The victim was able to take the gun from Acra, but then, for some reason, gave it back to him.
I can't take this in good conscience.
Acra then told the man, I should finish you off. But luckily for the victim, he took off on his scooter instead of following through.
He's tooling around town on a scooter with his gat.
Yeah, police responded to the convenience store, and conveniently for detectives, Acra came back a short time later on his scooter while officers were at the scene investigating.
Gosh, I felt awful bad about shooting in your abdomen.
He was charged with second-degree attempted murder. An off-duty Florida cop was arrested for allegedly teaming up with a pregnant woman to beat the guy who had been dating both of them at the same time.
Man.
Officer Ana Elisa Perez and Mila Zuloga both faced battery charges after they confronted the boyfriend they unknowingly shared at a restaurant on Friday. The man, who has yet to be identified, was cornered by the two women inside a Miller's Ale House as they yelled at him about the infidelity, with the tense scene escalating with Perez and Zulaga beating him.
Potato skins are our thing.
Police said both women struck the man multiple times in the face and torso, leaving him with bruises and an injured lower lip. It remains unclear if the women agreed beforehand to confront their boyfriend or if they stumbled upon him with the other by chance inside of the restaurant.
It'd be kind of cool if they agreed to attack him.
I think it probably was.
Yeah.
Somehow or another they found out and
What are
talked
the
to each
odds?
other. Police noted that while Perez was dating the man, he had shared a home with Zulaga, who is 7 months pregnant, by the way. The police director, Alfredo Ramirez, said that the department is working with the state's attorney office to investigate the incident regarding the officer, who has since been placed on leave with pay pending the review of the case.
It's possible they just randomly showed up because it was popcorn shrimp night.
Oh,
yeah.
And who doesn't love that? All right, listen to this idiot. A robbery suspect was caught on surveillance video wearing a cardboard box over his head while allegedly stealing phones from a Florida store, but he briefly took it off and the security camera saw him.
He lifts up the box to count the money.
The owner of iRepair Tech shared footage of the bizarre break-in carried out around 4 a.m. on Saturday. The footage shows the unidentified man smashing glass displays and swiping phones while sporting a box in an apparent attempt to conceal his face, but briefly removed the box from his head at one point as he rummages through the store's merchandise. The store's owner, Jeremiah Berganza, said the man stole 19 iPhones and $8,000 in cash.
Watch this footage. It's playing in the studio here.
He said he saw the man's face and he began to look around the plaza and where his cell phone repair business is located and asked others to let him know if they saw the suspect. Eventually, the thief was found in the same plaza drinking with buddies at a nearby liquor store,
Oh my God, what an idiot.
leading to his arrest. So,
His box falls off. His pants are falling down.
All right, and then we'll do one more story, and then we'll wrap it up. The 13-year-old girl from Henan, China, or a 13-year-old girl, I should say, reportedly spent around $63,000 in the span of 4 months on cell phone games. She used her mother's debit card to buy mobile games for both herself and her classmates, making sure to delete every transaction record so her mother would not find out. So this wasn't like an accident.
No, yeah.
The unnamed teenager's mother claimed that she found out about the purchases after being informed by one of the girl's teachers. The teacher reportedly told the mother that the girl was spending a lot of time on her phone while at school. The teenager's mother was alerted too late. When she finally checked her bank balance, there was only about 7 cents left in it.
Oh, my God.
An interview of the girl and her family has gone viral on Chinese social media. In the video, the girl's mother shows the purported bank statements that include every purchase her daughter made. Wow. All right, and that is it for the Bizarre File for you right now. We're going to break. We're going to come back in a moment, and we'll test your knowledge of today's program. The lesson question is what we have up next. We'll get trash and music news on top of that, too, so hang out. Back in a moment.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR. It's a
That's good
scientific
friends, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not as good as you think it is.
Did Richard Ford, the author, did he ever visit the set during filming, or did he stay away from all that?
No, he stayed away. I mean, we kept in touch via email. He writes the most beautiful emails, and we've been in touch. We just did a talk at Lincoln Center the last week in New York. He loves the film, so that means a lot.
So it's a story of a family and a family going through changes, and it's a funny thing because a simple story told this way, families can provide your greatest sense of support and love, and also your greatest conflict in life and your greatest your greatest issues to deal with, and that's what you were looking to explore with this, correct?
That's exactly it. Richard Ford sort of captured a duality where he was able to look at this hard situation with a lot of compassion, a lot of love. That's certainly how I, sort of grew up. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment in New York. My family was close, but probably too close. And when my parents struggled, we felt it, and it's sort of, I moved to a new town when I was 14 to enter high school. At that point in your life, home is sort of the edge of the world. I didn't yet have friends in that town. And so that is sort of what the film is trying to express. It's really about a kid seeing his parents change, their marriage change, and sort of just being like thrust suddenly into adulthood.
It's got to be wild.
You mentioned your partnership with Zoe Kazan, and she was here with you when you came in July of 2012 for Ruby Sparks, and you deferred to her, I guess, when it comes to the writing process. But what is that like when you have an idea and you really love your idea, and then you give it to somebody else, and they say that's not bad, but I'm going to take. Is it trust? Is it how do you get to a point where you're like, all right, her idea is better than mine?
Well, it's debilitating first.
You're crippled. What do you mean?
No. So in this case, it wasn't that somebody's idea is better. It was like, okay, this was my first time writing. Zoe is a proper writer. She's written plays that have gone up in New York. She's written screenplays that have been produced. She saw what I was trying to do, but was like, I can. And also, frankly, we just couldn't get through a note session because we live together, and you have to sort of protect the relationship from a certain amount of conflict. So I think she was like, why don't I just do a pass? Because I think it's healthier for us than if we just fight through these notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be wonderful. And it sort of opened up our process, which was we would talk about the script for 2 or 3 hours. Then one of us would take it for a few weeks and sort of do a pass. So we each had our own process. And at that point, once you're into it, you're fighting on behalf of the characters and the film. So you're not fighting each other. You know, somebody has an idea, you believe in it, you talk about it, you get into it, and then time sort of reveals the right direction.
Those moments, though, where you as a director, like you're not moving the camera a lot, and you're just kind of letting it happen. To me, that would be such a hand-wringing thing. How do I do this? How do I convey the subtlety of this? Were there a number of passes, or did you just instinctively say, this is the way it's got to be?
No, it was from day one a film that let's not move the camera if we don't have to for the moment. Let's not put score on it unless we have to. Let's sort of like...
let it breathe?
Yeah, and also just like leave them to hang out to dry almost, because you don't want to be reductive about something like this, something as complicated. My feeling is I've always loved the illusion of simplicity, like something that looks simple but is really not, and it was something I said to my crew even, was like, it's like we're trying to make a film that's like sushi. Like it looks simple.
Quiet moments.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's actually beautiful, and it's hard to make. And
Right.
I like
and
that.
you can kill people if you don't make it properly. So there you go.
Okay.
I like the analogy.
I love Mumford & Sons. They're like one of my favorite bands. Carey Mulligan is married to Marcus Mumford.
Yeah.
Did Marcus show up at all?
Oh, sure.
Did he?
Yeah, we hung. Yeah,
You made his day.
Yeah, we would go hit some golf balls, hang out. We were in Oklahoma. We were sort of in, I don't want to say the middle of nowhere, but...
You were in the middle of nowhere.
We were in the middle of nowhere.
Bum F, as they call it.
And, but that's also one of the beauties about making a film on location is this feeling of like summer camp. So, Carrie and I have known each other forever. Jake and I have known each other, known Marcus forever. There's something nice about the only people you have to lean on are the people you're there working with, and it's super fun.
Right.
Are they a part of the soundtrack at all?
They are not.
Okay.
I do think they have a new record coming out soon.
They
though.
do.
Yeah, I'm gonna
They
go.
do.
I watched a movie recently that you're in, Love and Mercy, about Brian Wilson, and it's an interesting movie. I didn't quite know what to expect. There are several different actors playing Brian Wilson in it. Can you talk a little bit about what that experience was like, and did you have a relationship or learn anything from Brian or talk to him about it?
Yeah, I think that's the best time I've ever had acting. Brian is a really special guy.
It's the story of Brian Wilson, by the way. And you play him as younger Brian Wilson around the time of the recording of Pet Sounds, and John Cusack plays him later on in life.
Yeah. For somebody who struggles so much, Brian, he's got an incredible amount of light inside of him. And frankly, studying that music for 6+ months was one of the greatest gifts I've had from work. I just felt so in love with what he's giving us through the spirit of this music, and I miss it.
It's a great movie, and I just saw your film after seeing a documentary called The Wrecking Crew, in which they sing. And I told Preston, and I think you've seen it since then.
Oh yeah.
And they talk about recording with Brian Wilson, and these guys, these were the top studio musicians. And they said, and then there's Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
And his genius level was off the charts. And I think the sequences where you're recording in the film, and you specifically, caught what I imagined, it would have been like outside of the documentary. It was an amazing performance.
That's very nice, yeah. And that's, frankly, we were in the studio that he actually recorded Pet Sounds in back in '65.
Wow.
And at that point, you're just trying to summon the spirits and let them pass through you, But that is so moving that these brilliant music, the Wrecking Crew, they were the best. They were the best session musicians in town.
Yep.
And Brian was their guy. They were like, that's the guy. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Hey, great to see you again. Congratulations. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks, guys.
Paul Dano, everyone. Speaking of scary movies, I did see this article, and believe it or not, it's from Cosmos, from Cosmopolitan Magazine.
That's all we read.
The most popular horror movie the year you were born.
Ooh, okay.
And this was kind of a bitch slap to you emotionally, wasn't it, Preston?
It starts 2 years after I was born.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a fire drill.
We have a flashing strobe in the studio, that's why. 1991 was Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
I don't consider it a horror movie, but many do. So it was more suspense and...
Thriller.
And thriller, yeah, exactly.
It's a thriller. Scary. Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Lecter. I'll be working closely with you.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Let me out. Let me out. What's the problem? Let me out of here.
They finally found the thing that broke Lecter.
Just found your great cellmate.
Yeah.
Dr. Lecter. Holy Jesus. We're going to become fast friends. Oh, my God. What are you?
He's pounding on the glass.
Let me out!
He's trying to get through that opening where they put the food.
Why? Wait, what's wrong? I'm going to let my gloves dry out here on the end of the bed.
You didn't want to play quid pro quo with him?
Nothing, nah.
Yeah.
I got a better game, Twister.
Oh, my God. Well, 1991, it was the #1 horror film.
Let's play Pictionary.
1993. All right, here you go again. 1993. But I guess it would all depend on what was out that year. Go ahead. You want to guess?
You're not going to say Jurassic Park, are you?
No.
Okay.
No. But it was Fire in the Sky.
Wait, what was 92?
Did I skip 92?
I think so.
Turner and Hooch.
It's not on here. The Mystery Year, 1992.
What? They just skipped it?
Yeah, that's interesting.
It was a movie called Hannibal and Michael.
Oh,
let me out!
What is that music?
Oh, no. Oh, you lead a deranged life.
Well,
I once ate a census taker's liver with some fava beans and Chianti. I once had a Boy Scout Jamboree party at my house the entire weekend. Holy Christ. And it tasted good.
Oh, my God.
I sauteed them with Jesus juice. I change diapers on my monkey every day.
Oh,
Holy Christ. And I pitch some bottles and leave them around the house. And my nose comes off. Get me out of here!
I mean,
I'm 40 years old and I have parties for 9-year-old boys. Holy Jesus! Why? Let me out!
Oh, my God.
You have such fun.
Can you do that list again? Because seriously.
93.3 WMMR. Everything that rocks. 8 minutes after 10. Going up to 79 degrees today. We still got the haze. But it is supposed to dissipate over the next couple of days. Cloudy tomorrow, cooler, 73 the high. And then Saturday, 81 and sunshine. And then Sunday, we're going to be like around 90 degrees.
Nice.
And partly cloudy skies. Yeah, summertime for sure. We will give away as a lesson question prize $50 Rita's Italian Ice gift card. Nick, I'm going off the board.
All right.
Nick sends me over questions through the show, but I'm going to go with a different one.
You're going crazy, man.
Yeah. In Greek, what does Philadelphia mean?
All right.
215-263 WMMR. Let's see if you know the answer to that. All right. In Greek, what does Philadelphia mean? 215-263 WMMR. You had to have heard it on the show earlier this morning because there is no truth to it whatsoever. Let's see if you know the answer. And we'll do the trash while you're calling.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
While we wait that call, let's get some stars. Steve, what's going on this morning?
Well, reports coming out that filming on the 4th season of Emily in Paris has officially been delayed. Apparently, Emily is still in Camden. Yeah, Gisele Bündchen made headlines for becoming very emotional while on stage at a business summit in Sao Paulo, Brazil on Monday. The 42-year-old supermodel says she began thinking about leaving her family when she was a young girl to start her career and she also sat on her salad fork.
Oh my God.
And finally, Arnold Schwarzenegger revealing in a new documentary about his life that his father, who was a Nazi soldier, was brutal and abusive. Arnold says there were many nights he would lay in bed dreaming of having a father who was a kind and loving Nazi.
No. All right, let's see if we can get an answer to today's lesson question. In Greek, what does Philadelphia mean? 215-263-WMMR. And do you remember what it was exactly?
Yeah.
Okay, because I kind of remember what it was.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to Nick, see if we can get the answer. Hi, Nick. Good morning.
Sucking on a chili dog.
Sucking on a chili dog. All right, Nick, what does Philadelphia mean in Greek?
Bird of flight.
Bird of flight. No, that is incorrect. No. All right, we'll go next to Dina. See if Dina knows. Hi, Dina.
Hi.
Hi. In Greek, what does Philadelphia mean?
Brotherly love?
No.
It's the meaning we had earlier.
Yeah, that's what we need to know. All right, let me go next to Logan, see if he knows. Hey, Logan.
I have 3 testicles.
Not bad.
A little giggle in there, too. All right, what does Philadelphia mean in Greek?
A whale's vagina.
Oh, you're so close.
San Diego.
All right, it's San Diego. All right, we'll go to Steve next. Hey, Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so what does Philadelphia mean in Greek, please?
It is obviously City of Birds.
City of Birds, yes. Not birds of flight. Nope. City of Birds.
Steve,
hang on.
Steve.
We're gonna. Thank you. We're gonna get you a $50 Rita's Italian gift card, ice gift card, and you can head to Rita's for 5-layer gelati, back for a limited time only.
Do it.
Enjoy your favorite ice cream flavors with an extra layer of creamy custard to build your own masterpiece.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you by Zane Western Apparel and Work Gear. Man, I wish we had that China scream to go in there. In Piles Grove, New Jersey, they have the brands that Dad wants. That's it.
Yeah.
Like Carhartt, Under Armour, and more. Online at zanewestern.com.
What's the dealio?
I miss China. All right, Pearl Jam guitarist Stone Gossard revealed that fans might be getting the band's new album sooner rather than later.
Ooh.
Gossard said, "We're getting close to the finish line." And he couldn't help but sing the praises of the band's current producer, Andrew Watt. Watt, who has produced Pearl Jam frontman Eddie Vedder, and was recently behind the boards for sessions for both the Rolling Stones and Paul McCartney, and is best known for producing Ozzy Osbourne, as well as Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus, One Republic, Sam Smith, Ed Sheeran, Blink-182, Zac Brown Band, and Maroon 5, among others. He's also the guitarist for Eddie's solo band, the Earthlings. Stone went on about the positive vibes that Andrew Watt has brought to the latest Pearl Jam session, saying, he's the most hardcore Pearl Jam fan you'll ever meet. He can play all of our songs and all of Soundgarden songs back at us better than we can play them.
Ozzy was very complimentary of him.
Yeah, I mean, if I could, I'm not fantastic, you know. I mean, the guy's 6. Wow, I forgot.
It's pretty much the same thing Stone is saying. He said it's been such a joy to make a record with him. He's energizing us. Whether Watt's style is more in line with Pearl Jam's classic 90s recordings, Gossard said, you'll have to be the judge of that.
Yeah.
The energy he's looking for. He's a fan club member. He's seen the band 50 times, but he's also a top-flight pop producer.
I didn't know him until last year, until he joined Eddie's solo band, and then I went up and saw him with Pierre at the Beacon Theater. He is incredible. He's so much fun on stage. He's a great musician, you know, and the fact that he's played with all these other artists, including Ozzy, is really impressive. And now that he's like, I don't know, producing the record, like the last record was fine, the Gigaton one, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with next.
I think you heard what Ozzy said.
Totally. Also, hopefully, we're going to chat with Mike McCready in the next couple of weeks because he's got Crohn's disease, and Preston, your daughter, has Crohn's.
Yep.
And Mike does a lot of work for the CCF in the country, so we're going to try to get him on the show before your walk, which is what, the 26th?
It is a 20-something. Hang on here. I've got the official date. Yeah, it's the 25th.
25th,
And that
okay.
will be at Lincoln Financial Field as the Take Steps Walk. Join my crew. We're called the Shart Breakers.
There we go.
And you can go to
a great
WMMR.com for that. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to him in the very near future. Slipknot has announced that they are parting ways with Craig Jones. The band released a statement saying to our fans, Slipknot is announcing that we have parted ways with Craig Jones. We wish Jones all the best in the future. The band later deleted the statement. That sounds like somebody getting fired, folks. Fired. Jones joined the band's lineup in early 1996, shortly after the group had finished recording of their demo album, Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat. And we see emails like that at work when it's no
longer with us.
No longer with us, and we wish them all the best.
Donna's not here.
And that's it. Yeah. However, there are other ones that are, we thank them for all the years of service. We couldn't have done this event or that event, and we were going to miss their personality and
Sad
style.
to see them go.
Yeah. That's
Concerning Don, you ever take a dump? Same thing.
Yeah.
It's always their last day is in 2 weeks, and then you get the long email, or their last day was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yep. End of email.
Mm-hmm.
They were chased out of the building within the last half hour.
Guns N' Roses were film rehearsing the long unreleased Chinese Democracy era outtake called Perhaps during their June 5th sound check at Tel Aviv, Israel's Park Hayarkan.
It's very Josh Groban-y, they say. Preston.
I was not aware of that. UltimateGuitar.com reported that although the song has been available for years on underground releases, Perhaps has never been officially released. So they've been working on that.
Don't care.
And then a couple of live music things to mention. We made a concert announcement earlier this morning, and the fact that Nickelback is coming to town. They're going to be playing Tuesday, August 29th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. It's called the Get Rollin' Tour, and they'll be with Brantley Gilbert and Josh Ross. Tickets will go on sale Tuesday, 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster, and you can listen to Ray Koob, who's in for Brent Porsche this week, to win tickets, and also Brent's show next week for
So got your Nickelback tickets.
more chances to win your Nickelback tickets.
You win.
You can text concerts to 39333. We will send you a link to the MMR concert calendar where you can find all the details and how to get your Nickelback tickets.
We also have front row Nickelback tickets to give away this morning, too.
Oh, I'll take them. No
So we have, I tell you what we'll do. We will take.
So if anybody knows me, call in. You get your Nickelback tickets.
And you win.
You win. You win. You win.
Kathy.
Oh, no.
Casey.
Called her a whore.
You called her. You effing. Shut up, you effing whore.
I was about to get yelled at, and then you said that and you got in trouble.
And that's the thing. I was trying to take the heat off of
Kathy.
you.
Casey.
I am such a good friend. I took the heat off you. I was like, oh, wow, she's about to get in trouble.
One of my favorite pieces of footage is your. That was for one of our drunk days years ago.
Yep.
And so Casey would go, you know, because you're a bitch, and you don't even see. You just see a hand, Kathy's hand, slap him across the face.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, you guys were so lit that day.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
just
Beyond.
blind, hammered, drunk.
Physically, it just is. It's gonna kill you. I mean, I think you went out on a gurney, Kathy.
Can you play the beginning of that clip again? Because she says something at the beginning that makes me laugh really hard.
Okay, here we go.
We also have front row Nickelback tickets to give away this morning, too.
Oh, I'll take them. No biggie.
So we have, I tell you what.
No biggie. No biggie.
I'll take them, no biggie.
We'll do. We will take.
I'll take them. No biggie.
You know what? Part of the reason we stopped doing that was because we would get so drunk that it would ruin days. If you drink that hard that early, and we're not spring chickens anymore, that it's just it's too much. I'm like, I don't want to ruin a whole weekend.
And
by
then
doing
some.
that.
You guys weren't good until like maybe Wednesday.
I don't know. I was pretty good. And it was around 4th of July, and the one time it was my 30th birthday, something. Yeah, I think it was my 30th.
Oh my God.
And we had gone out to dinner that night. I had gotten drunk twice, and I think it was the one where I tried to kill you with ice cream.
Yeah. Tried to drown him in ice cream.
Kiddie pool full of ice cream.
So I not only did that, but then I got hosed off by my 80-year-old neighbor and wearing a jock strap. And then I went home. I napped all day, and then I got up and I did it all over again.
Wow.
I wasn't ever able to rebound. It was like, okay, the full day that I was hungover, and then as we got older, it was like the entire weekend. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I have to function.
But also, you go, if you know me, call in.
So if anybody knows me, call in. You get your nipple back ticket.
And you win.
And you win. You win. You win.
Kathy.
Casey!
And then I threw him out of the studio because we didn't have a delay.
No.
We didn't have a dump button.
We were
Casey dropped a full-on big F-bomb.
We're in and that's in the smaller studio. So we
that's
didn't
right.
Yeah, so we had very little control.
Yeah.
One of the questions I get most often, I don't know about you guys, but is why don't you do drunk days anymore? And we just explained why. It took such a toll. And also, like, our kids are growing up, you know, it became embarrassing not just for us, but for the people in our lives. And it really beat the crap out of you afterwards.
I tried to get Pierre to do it.
That's right.
He didn't want to do it.
And he would have been wonderful at it.
Yeah.
It would have been a blast, but I understand why.
Yeah,
Well, that particular one was one of the best. Yeah.
I had a full-on wrestling match with Preston and Jackson in here.
That was fun.
That was. Then we started to recruit other people.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't, it was near lethal. I couldn't do it.
I mean, Kyle Eckel and Lauren Harris did it one year. Intern Julie did it with me one year. And
one of the
did
bestest we had.
Yeah. Dane Cook told her to shut up.
Shut up. Shut up.
All right, so Nickelback tickets, text concerts to 39333. We'll get you the details. All right, and then one last thing I want to mention. Our good friend Kyle Mack.
Hey!
His band, the FM band, have a gig tonight. They're playing Adelphia. I told you, anytime Kyle's got a gig, I want to mention it. He's amazing
super talented.
vocalist.
Yeah.
He's a great singer. He's very insightful. He asked me earlier why animals don't have to wipe their butts after they go poop.
Okay. He has questions.
Yeah.
So he's playing with the band, FM band, are playing Adelphia in Deptford tonight, 9 to like 11:30.
Is that why he was breathing heavy over you earlier?
He'd also never heard of John Holmes before either.
Yeah.
John the Wad Holmes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kathy had to bring him up to speed.
Well, I was chatting about him, and he heard.
You don't know the Wad?
Johnny Wad, man. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to wrap up the program, and we'll get you that much closer to winning our Word of the Week prize this week. But wait tomorrow. We'll be back in just a moment.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Award show.
No.
I drink Jesus juice. My nose comes off. I used to be black. And I made my kids wear Mardi Gras masks. And have a train, but a real one.
Lecter admits everything. He just
I will tell you right now how you can get in touch with Buffalo Bill. I have a dress.
I have his home address.
Longitude and latitude.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Hear me out.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Lecter. Oh, my God.
We're going to be good friends.
Corn has launched its new coffee brand called Corn Coffee.
Corn Coffee.
Yes.
It's a great name.
Corn Coffee.
If you like the driven rock of corn, you'll love their coffee.
Corn personally curated the creation of Corn Coffee.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's see how many K sounds I can put in there. Corn personally curated the creation of Corn Coffee, a process that saw the band members tasting multiple variations for ultimately selecting the perfect roast and blend.
Yeah, that one.
Each bag of Corn Coffee will feature a special message from the band, which reads, after almost 25 years of touring, making records, and playing in front of all of our amazing fans,
we still drink coffee.
One thing has remained a constant in our daily routine.
Lattes!
I was not expecting that.
I know.
Lattes! No, it says coffee. The ritual, the brew, the aroma. And most importantly, that very first cup every morning that sets the tone is something that we look forward to every day.
Well, this is interesting. We're actually watching footage of them sampling the various brews.
Yeah. It says, because of our passion, we've gotten together with a roaster and handcrafted our very own blend, coffee. It's called Corn Coffee.
Next up, Corn Licorice.
Corn recently began recording its new album in Nashville, Tennessee, by the way, but now they have Corn Coffee.
That's part of waking up is corn coffee in your cup.
That's right. Yeah, cup. This is...
cup.
This,
oh, he's at the ready.
No, but yeah, a couple.
We need to have Nick coffee or something like that.
But yeah.
Have a cup.
This is our new blend. It's called Nanapuya.
From the hills of Nanapuya.
Yeah. Brought down by mules every day at 2 o'clock after the afternoon rain. The beans are enriched with monkey urine.
If only we had a coffee sponsor to do this for us.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Nanapuya.
Well, that's good.
Have a cup.
Yeah, a cup.
God. Or no, the question would be, would you like some?
Yeah, a cup.
No, not Nanapuya. Yeah, cup.
Come on.
Yeah, a cup.
That'd be ridiculous.
Do you want a thermos or a cup?
Yeah, a cup.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, one Nanapuya for table 7.
Okay.
What is that one?
That's you. That's Mini Wookie. That's Nick. So you asked, have you decided what you like, sir?
Nanapuya.
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 I don't remember Mini Wookie.
All right. Anyhow, Corn has coffee.
Corn coffee.
It's almost an embarrassment that we live in this city and that we don't. You know, I think you're right, though, Preston. Stop and check it out, at least to some degree.
Why groups of people decided that it would be a good idea to memorialize this person in that form.
Also, don't hesitate now and then to throw a rope around on it and attach to your boat hitch.
That why is intriguing to me as well. What the hell is the point of dragging a statue into the river?
But when I heard the news report it this morning, they reported it as if, here we go again. Now, there was only one other incident, but... Yeah.
There's a lot of statues being pulled down for various reasons, whether you had down south with the Confederate statues and things of that nature, and if they believe, there's it's kind of the thing. But this thing seemed like, what's that about?
Yeah. Hey, what did Rizzo do that was so great that he gets a statue?
He was just a really popular mayor. I mean, he was larger than life in a bunch of different ways in stature.
Yeah.
And so because of his tactics, he was well known. He left his mark, good and bad, and deserved a statue as a result.
Yeah.
You're a real crumb bum.
and he gave us
that. If that, honestly, I would give him a statue just for that.
For crumb bum?
I'll take you out back bunches.
Yeah.
My arms tied behind my back.
Yeah.
I'll pound you into the pavement, I will.
That whole audio, you look like a lush to me. He's telling the reporter.
Yeah. Would you care to talk to CBS? You look like a lush. I'll pound you into the pavement.
You want to relive that?
Yes, I do.
All right, Casey's finding the audio of Frank Rizzo when he was confronted. He wasn't happy about it. He was out walking his dog, and
maybe the Viking was the Nordic Frank Rizzo.
They were confronting him about.
You look like a lush to me. What's your story? I hit you with my shield. I'll take you out back and hit you with my shield.
Yeah. What are you?
You're a crumb bum.
You can't find it, Case?
I don't know. Here, let's
Here
try
you go,
this one.
Crumb Bum.
Yeah.
Crumb Bum, see Frank Rizzo.
It says Rizzo.
See Crumb Bum.
This says call Stan Bowman. Here we go.
Yeah, that's it.
There is Stan Borman from Channel 3 News. Could we...
How are you?
Fine, sir. How are you?
Good.
Could we talk with you for just a moment?
No, I'm busy.
You couldn't answer any of our questions?
I wouldn't talk to you under any condition.
Why is that, sir?
Forget it. Scram. Get out of here.
Sir,
Scram. Hit the road.
Scram.
You lusha.
Why?
Get away from me. I'm now a private citizen.
Yes,
you
sir.
get away from me.
We're allowed to be on the streets, sir.
I don't want to talk to you. Get away from me.
How do you feel about the security guards being taken off of you, sir?
Get away from me, or I'm going to throw you out in the middle of the street.
Gonna throw you right out there.
One more question.
I'm telling you, get away from me.
You were the symbol of law and order in Philadelphia, sir, for many years. People looked
Get
up to
away
you and
from
respected
me.
you.
Look, creep, get out of here.
How could you justify your actions at our cameras last Monday in front of your
Get
house?
out. You're a creep.
We're a member of the media. We'd like to have an answer to our question.
You're a creep.
Why did you attack our cameras?
Get it all. Don't miss any of it. You're a creep. Get away from me.
Would you answer the question?
Dude, he had great pipes.
He really
Listen
did.
to his voice. Get away from me. He could do movie trailers.
This weekend at the Community Cinema Pucks.
You're a creep. Get away from me.
Would you answer the question?
You know, you hide behind that press card.
I'm not hiding behind anything, sir. I just wanted to get some answers.
I'll tell you what to do. There's a gang of yous here. There's enough of you here. By myself, I'll take yous physically.
Well, I'm not asking you to take me physically.
Well, get away from me.
Well, sir, I'm on the public street. I should be authorized to be here.
I'll break it off.
I'll break it off.
I'll break it
physically and mentally.
Yeah.
I'll get inside your brain.
This is after he was mayor.
Yeah.
You know, you think he'd be happy in retirement.
Nah, he didn't care.
Big dude, though.
Yeah.
You see him next to the reporter. He's a big dude.
Yep.
Hey, get away from me.
I think the statue. Yeah, the statue's 1-to-1 scale.
Yeah.
I'll break it over your head.
I'll break it over your head. Hang on. Let's go back.
I'll break it over your head. Get away from me, you crumb. That's a challenge. Accept. I'll put my dog away, and I'll come back. And you got 1, 2, 3, and I'll do
1,
it
2,
alone.
3.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Yeah.
Let me just put Fifi back in the house. Come on, Fifi, heel.
It is kind of a little dog, right?
Yeah.
3.
No?
No.
I can't see the dog. Oh,
No,
no,
it's a
I was
big
wrong.
dog.
I was
Yeah.
incorrect. I thought he had a little poodle with him.
Daddy loves you.
Yeah.
Daddy
me
loves
kisses.
you. Give me love monster kisses.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna come back and kill yous all. Beat you to death with a tire iron and then dance in your blood. Who wants you to do? Who wants you to do? Gonna put you in the house now. All right, don't be scared. Daddy has to go kill the bad men. I'm coming to kill you now. Calm down. Did you lose your chew toy? Did you lose your chew toy? It's under the sofa. Yeah. Wait right here. Daddy needs to go kill the reporters. Yes, I know.
Talking.
Yeah. Get up in the living room window. You want to see Daddy kill the bad men?
Yeah, that's right. Sets him up where he's got a nice view of the street.
I'm doing this for you.
Yeah.
2, 3, and I'll do it alone with you. In that back of that fence, just the 3 of us, 4 of us, me and you.
4 or 5. I tell you what, call some of the family members. Bring them out here too.
Show you what kind of a man you are. You're less than a man.
You're a less man.
Okay, you're a crumb creep.
A crumb creep.
You're a moon creep pie creep crumb. You're creep brulee. That's what you are.
Creep brulee.
Yeah. As if someone's taken one of them little torches and fried the top of your head into like a caramelized sugary thing. You are creep brulee. You know what you like? You like one of them fancy desserts with the thin shell on top, but underneath you just pudding. Just pansy pudding, creep crumb, pansy crumb, creep creme, crumb, brulee creep creme. With sugar on top.
At this point, they've just shut up.
They just let them know.
Because they are like, we are getting gold right now. Just let this roll.
Put that on camera. You're a crumb bum, the 3 of you, and I challenge you.
He wouldn't talk earlier. I'm not talking to you, right? I'm not talking to you. And now, Stan Bowman hasn't said anything for like 5 minutes.
He actually fell asleep. What are you, Stan? Are you asleep?
Wake up.
I'm sorry, I had a long night. Where did your dog go? I put him inside, didn't you see? There he is, and they're looking in the window there.
Just me. You're a crumb creep coward. You can't take. You won't stand up to a man.
I'm standing up. We're not here to fight. We're here to get some answers to some questions.
At Hershey Park, Marissa was reminding me of that, and they're going to be playing September 27th, and tickets for that show will be on sale tomorrow. So they'll be at Hershey Park Stadium September 27th if you want to get those tickets.
Tons of shows.
Now, if you don't want to see them there, you can go see at Brooklyn Bowl in Philadelphia a band called Red Not Chili Peppers that Nick was just telling me about, and they're a Red Hot Chili Peppers tribute band.
My brother's going to go see them. They're playing some bar in Virginia I think in 2 weekends, and he thought he got an alert for the Red Hot Chili Peppers because he's a big fan, and it turns out it was the Not Chili Peppers.
Red Not Chili Peppers.
Yeah, but Steve, I watched some other videos on YouTube YouTube yesterday. They're really good.
Yeah.
They're very faithful to the, and it's, like all tribute bands, they kind of look a little like the Chili Peppers. And there's a guy that dresses like Chad Smith and a guy that dresses like Flea. And so, yeah, the Red Knot Chili Peppers at Brooklyn Bowl.
Why not?
I was about to say I've never seen a tribute band before, but
That was your first concert.
the first concert I ever went to was Beatlemania.
Yes.
So
Oh, right,
it's
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
it was a Beatles tribute band. But since that time, and I was only in like 5th grade, I've never actually been to a tribute band concert. And I bet you there's some really, really good ones. I mean, I've seen videos of them, and there are some really good ones.
The Leadbetters are a great Pearl Jam tribute band, and they've done actually 2 or 3 MMR events. There was one at an outdoor festival that I went to a year or 2 ago, and then they did the Pearl Jam night at the Flyers this year, and they're really good. It's a little weird to see a tribute band when that other band, when the real band still exists and is actively touring.
Yeah.
But it's a cheap way to go and have fun and see the band that you love, their music being played live.
There are ones that really try to recreate the look and feel of the band, like the Beatlemania stuff, and then there are ones who just simply cover, and
so a perfect example of that is the Fab Four,
right,
which are phenomenal. You know what? So I've seen them. What the hell am I talking about? But they're not trying to pretend to be the band. What they are trying to do, though, is reproduce the music as faithfully as possible via the production. They're trying to take what they did in the studio and make it sound exactly like that, other than obviously the vocals sounding exactly like John or Paul, but the instrumentation, they try to make it as if you're hearing it, the way they record it in the studio. It's pretty cool.
Years ago on Long Island, there was in fact, they were contemporaries of Twisted Sister. They were a cover band, a Doors tribute band, and the lead singer, I don't know if he realized he wasn't Jim Morrison.
Oh, really? He thought he was Jim.
He was a little, there was something deranged in that.
There, I was hosting a Zeppelin cover band at the Ambler Cabaret 1,000 years ago, and the singer had long, blonde, curly hair. And
Preston and Steve.
That's my fault.
No worries. Sorry. Sounds like my show.
So you were saying?
I went to say goodnight to them at the end of the show, and the singer had gone. I go, it's wild that you guys were able to get a singer with long blonde hair like that. And they go, it's a wig. And then, it was just like, okay.
Steel Panthers, a few of those guys are wigs.
Yeah, sure.
It's pretty wild.
But their whole thing
wigs
is massive parody.
Yeah, totally.
As opposed to the people who really do sort of take on the role, as you say.
Right.
And some of it's a little too much. I mean, they just look the Pink Floyds. How about the Australian Pink Floyd? How about the New Zealand Pink Floyd? How about the real effing Pink Floyd? And stop using the, I don't know.
There are a few Rush tribute bands that are supposed to be really, really good. And of course, the band doesn't exist anymore, so that's your option.
Right. It's all you're going to get.
Yeah.
The thing on the Beatlemanias, at first I thought it was intriguing, but yeah, I saw some version of it with the symphony with the Philly Pops Orchestra.
Yeah.
And they had one of those Beatlemania type bands, and they spoke in Beatles. I mean, they're clearly from
Liverpudlian.
They're from New Jersey.
Right.
And they were affecting the John Lennon accent and the Paul, and then putting on the wigs at the different phases of the Beatles career. And I go, I don't vibe to that.
How all you blokes and bitches doing tonight?
Anyway. Anyhow, there's a group called the Red Knot Chili Peppers. I want to thank Tom Papa for being on our show.
Yay!
He's just the best. And his book is called We're All in This Together, So Make Some Room. And that is available now everywhere. And he said he'll be back in maybe late in the summer at the Keswick Theater. We'll keep an eye on the dates and let you know when that's coming up. We can now play this effect if you're ready, sir, for the letter of the day. Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, the President and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
A, as in art.
All right, and we have a Pie-Zeek round barbecue and fire pit kit from Landis Block to give away. Landis Block, you can start imagining your own backyard paradise by looking at the photo gallery online at landisbc.com. We'll give that away tomorrow. What are you doing today?
Well, I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm going to play records and groove.
That's it. It's relaxed. It's chill.
Yeah, I'm going to chill. I'm going to have coffee and listen with people and share some vibes, man. And we'll also have Dead and Company tickets.
Nice.
Which will be fun for is this Thursday?
Next Thursday, yeah, a week from tonight.
Today, yes.
This is this Thursday, and then next Thursday will be a week from now.
I'm going to that show. I've never seen The Dead before.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. That'll be fun. That's at the ballpark. We'll also have workforce blocks of U2. You just play some Peppers. Californication was released today.
Wow.
And so we will do a full block of the Peppers. And we will do sit down, stand up, a block of Motorhead.
Motorhead.
Yes, Motorhead.
Right.
Da-da-dee-dee-dee. You know that song, Motoring? What's that song? Motoring.
Sister Christian.
Yeah. I'm thinking Motorhead instead of motoring.
Motorhead.
Doom, 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 doom,
What?
Motorhead. What's your price for flight? Your metal gods. Nice your head.
We were talking about guilty pleasures yesterday. It's definitely.
Oh, my
one of
God,
mine.
yeah.
I love this
Absolutely.
song.
Who is this?
It's
Sister
Christian.
Yeah, but it's by Night Ranger.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, right.
Were you? Where were you during that era in your?
I was here.
career? Okay, all right.
We probably played it.
I'm sure you played the hell out of it.
We played everything.
Yeah.
Brian Adams was just in town last night. I did not go, but friends of mine were there. Said he did one great song after another, and MMR played those like we would play the Peppers or Shine Down or bands of that that ilk now. So I'm sure we played it.
We're the ilkiest.
We're the ilkiest.
All right. I want to thank our sponsors. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Duncan. The Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan. Also brought to you by Polar Seltzer. Why be flat when you can sparkle? Refreshingly natural Polar Seltzer. Tomorrow's program will include David Keckner.
Yes.
In our studio. He's been
Champ.
here many times. Our buddy Michael Barkan is stopping by tomorrow, and it will be a No Sad Bro Friday for everyone. And then, Steve, you just want to mention one more time.
The Mutiny is on for tonight.
Mutiny
So
on
if
the Motion
you
Room.
purchase, I think we're basically sold out, but everything's on and running. We're looking forward to seeing you down there at the Moshaloo for the Max Fund benefit. It's going to be a great time.
Excellent. That is it. We are done. Rage on. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.
Preston and Steve.
On 93.3 WMMR.
Hey, everybody, it's good to have you on the map.